cold open on the faces of the dead Urikite Templar and Defiler. From a brief encounter with an Urikite scouting party, you have emerged victorious. The Braxat, which is with them, has been beheaded. The troops, infantry, who accompanying them have all been summarily murdered. And the Templar and Defiler, who were overseeing the scouting party, their bodies have been brought back to your camp for post-mortem questioning. Around you, your own troops are anxious, ready for what comes. If a scouting party has been spotted this close to where you are, the vanguard cannot be far off, and Urik's army not far behind that. Your mission? To find that vanguard and destroy the veil of stone it carries, which is hiding the larger army from view. With knowledge on where that army is, Rikus and the greater bulk of Tyr's forces can hopefully engage it successfully with surprise in the field. But for that to happen, there are questions that must be answered. Questions about the location of the Veil of Stone, and of course, of the Vanguard itself. In your command tent, their bodies hewn and hacked by the many wounds inflicted by yourselves. Bagal, you quite literally beat the Defiler to death in the pit in which he was hiding. The Templar did not fare much better. And Portek, you have been talking to your companions, trying to come up with questions to put to their shades, to call them back from the grey, to hold them to account. The evening has drawn in. Torchlights and lamplights illuminate the command tent with an orange glow, casting unsteady shadows across the pale faces of the corpses that you've laid out on the large strategy planning table in the middle. You've stripped them of a variety of items, subjected some of these to investigation as to whether they're magical or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now only the bodies remain.
The Braxat is in the tent as well, I'm presuming.
Sure, if you've dragged the Braxat all the way back, yes, you did. I mean, you make a bit of a song and dance out of that, as I recall. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So these questions are important, people. They have to be specific. I suggest that I run them by you, what I'm thinking, and then we come up with a definitive list of questions. I had a brief conferring with Tik about it as well. So my first question, I think, would be, because we want to find out what we're going to be facing, would be the following question. Tell me what unit types and their unit sizes the Urikite Vanguard is comprised of. This will tell us, hopefully, a broad composition of...
maybe who we need to bring with us if we're gonna attack them.
What do you mean?
Well, if we find out how large the Vanguard is, then, like, if in the event we were going to take a very offensive approach, we also would know how many people to bring.
Well, yeah, it will give us a glance. It will also prepare us for something. I would like to know, for instance, are we going to be facing cavalry? The Urikite army is renowned for using cavalry. And we have none, as you might be aware. So, but we do have spear carriers, and they are good against cavalry. So if we are facing cavalry, we know this in advance and know how to strategically place those, because they can buffer a charge from cavalry. So I think that's something that we would like to know. We would like to know maybe if they have any special units that we haven't thought of. How much archery do they have? I have no idea. These things are all very relevant into our plans for strategy. Also, for our traders who can actually make some defensive structures. They need to know what kind of defensive structures we need to be contemplating. So this is an important question.
That question should be like the first one we ask, I suppose.
Yeah. You like the wording?
Read it by me again.
Tell me what unit types and their unit sizes the Urikite vanguard is comprised of.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it should give us the unit types and the unit sizes of the vanguard.
Could we know maybe about formation as well? Would that help us perhaps, or not?
The thing is, if they don't know it, they can't tell you the answer. So this is how the spell works. So you can only ask them what they know. And this they might know, but what actually the formation is going to be used actually might be changing on the spur of the moment. So I think we'll have to be flexible on that one. But yeah. Okay, so then another one which is important because we're here for a reason. And the question is fairly simple. Where in the Urikite vanguard is the Veil of Stone being kept? So we know where to target it.
Is it the Veil of Stone, or is there a thing that sort of powers the Veil of Stone, like an item?
We were told that the obsidian orb is called the Veil of Stone. That's correct, right?
Right. Or does it have another name?
I thought that was the case.
Yeah, the Veil of Stone is an orb of some kind, obsidian, most likely.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we're here to take out.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So I think that's then a very specific question. If they know it, which I hope they do. If they don't know it, they don't know it. But if that would, otherwise we would have to target the leadership because that's most likely where it's going to be kept. But if they are in the knowledge of where it is being kept, then that would be nice. You know, if it's in a certain wagon or in a certain saddlebag or whatever.
Or maybe who hasn't, or something,
Yeah.
if someone's keeping it with them.
Also, good question. Who is leader?
Yeah.
We know that.
Who's the leader of the vanguard?
Yes, we know that.
Yeah, but
We spoke to him
We
last night. This night.
No, that was leader of army.
No, that was the leader of the vanguard, right? He was talking to the Braxa, right?
Yes.
And this was the scouting party of the vanguard, right?
As far as you understand, yes.
Ah,
So I think we spoke to the leader of the vanguard.
okay.
what if there's more than one vanguard?
I'm actually expecting the leader of the army to be Hamano himself. He's coming. That makes sense, right?
It's possible.
If I remember my history correctly, this is exactly what he did when he destroyed that city-state next to him, next to Urik. He showed up himself. Wreaked terrible magics on the place.
So,
Okay, so far you have one question.
Yes. Well, we have two questions. We have to tell me the unit types. We have the second question, which is where is the Urikite vanguard? Where in the Urikite vanguard is the Veil of Stone being kept?
Yes.
That's the second question. I have a third question and a fourth question, and I'm not sure because they're kind of difficult to do. So I wanted to know a little bit more about their strategy, their big plan, how they planned this whole thing. And I have two questions which relate to that. So the other one is...
you might not know the answer to that.
No, exactly. So this is the question that I had. What is the plan of attack for the Urikite vanguard and the main Urikite army? Maybe he knows something about the plan of attack. The other question is where is or how many days behind the vanguard is the Urikite main army following? Yeah. Those are the two other questions I had, but I'm trying to make that into one question, but I don't know how. And I think maybe the second one is actually more important than the first one.
Sorry, what was the first one again?
The first one, what is the plan of attack for the Urikite vanguard and the main Urikite army?
Yeah.
and it's nice to know, but the other one is actually more important
I think they're both quite equally important. However, the second one kind of does let us prepare more for the big army that's coming after this vanguard.
And where to ambush?
Location, I have not put any question on yet.
Well, how about we just don't kill everybody, take a couple prisoners, and then maybe some of them can tell us more about that.
I was hoping that we actually were very successful with the first questioning and then continue on to ask the defiler any remaining questions we have.
Yeah. You'll get 3 with the Templar and 3 with the defiler.
If they don't
save.
If they are not impervious to the magic, it happens. Sometimes they're so opposed to what you're trying to do and to your ideas that they say no. I'm not playing this game. I'm staying where I am, staying put in hell. So
should we ask? Should we ask a question about location then? Should that be one of the things, or are we not so concerned about that? Because it would be nice to know where they're coming from exactly, so we can plan, a defense in an area that we can receive.
I completely agree. How would we phrase that question? So that would be a 5th question then. Maybe we can actually rephrase the 3rd question of the plan of attack. Where are they planning to attack from?
Yeah.
With the main army, right?
To be fair, if you ask them where are you planning to attack from, we can see the actual place they're going to attack from, and then also maybe assume some of the battle plans that they have, depending on the terrain.
We can extrapolate and at least prepare. Yeah.
What about do they have any allies that we're unaware of?
Do we know if they have allies?
You do not. The only type of ally you've seen actually is the Braxat, which is remarkable enough in and of itself. Okay, so where are you at? Do you have enough questions to start with the Templar?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right, so Portek, how do you go about this? You mentioned something to me about an Earth conjunction.
Yes. I'm presuming that we're on the Earth in the desert, right?
Yes.
I clear the floor of any tapestries, and I'm going to put myself and the bodies to be questioned on the Earth.
Yes.
I firmly plant myself in the Earth. I actually sink my feet into the Earth.
Nice.
And I call forth the elemental powers that I serve. And from it, ask them to pull these hapless individuals back from the grey and into our presence to answer our questions.
All right, that's actually a fail by 1 point. Save against spells for 8th level priests is a 12, unfortunately. So your voice rings out across the elemental planes and echoes into the great spaces of the grey. The corpse's mouth opens, and out of it pours this grey mist. It settles down across its face, forming a second skin, a perfect contour mirroring the features of the dead body. Except these here move and respond.
It is I, Templar. Tell me, what unit types and their unit sizes the Urikite vanguard is comprised of?
Flings. halfling scouts, 100 halfling sling hurlers, 50 gank cavalry, 100 infantry, 100.
This is where he stops at the question.
And staff. It stops at that point.
I'm scared.
Yeah, brilliant.
You sounded like Voldemort.
Answer me this. Where in the Urikite vanguard is the Veil of Stone being kept?
It is carried by Salova Luba.
How many days behind the vanguard is the Urikite main army following? Half a day.
And at this point, the strange grey mist is inhaled back into the corpse and lost to your sight.
So they're very, very close by.
Yeah.
You ready for another round of questioning?
La. Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
You might be good, but I don't know if I am.
It's like, are you asking the characters or the DM?
From beyond the grave, indeed. So, our rephrasing of question number 3, what was it again, Bengal? Instead of the plan, we would ask...
for the location.
Yeah, where they would be attacking,
Yeah.
right? So,
Where
will the attack of the main army take place?
the main army or the vanguard?
No, the main army. The vanguard is here for us. It's coming here.
So yeah, where is the main army going to be attacking from?
Yeah, where is the main army planning to attack?
Okay.
Or tear from? Yeah.
Also, what is range of veil?
Well, that much you know already.
Oh, we know?
It conceals anything that marches within 10 miles of the vanguard. 10 miles behind the vanguard.
Okay.
So half a day. Yeah. That's about right.
So,
where is the thing? Is the main
we can
army?
ask.
Yeah.
We can ask of composition of main army.
That's I was actually going to ask the second question. Ask exactly the same question we asked for the vanguard, but then for the main army.
Yeah.
So where is the main army planning to attack Tearfrom. Okay. The second question, and then the third question would maybe be who is leading the main army?
What about asking
Thought you
the
said
army's
or the
weaknesses-
allies? Eh?
What about asking what the army's weaknesses?
Yeah.
That's a vague question.
Would the
You're not gonna
definer know this?
No.
Don't forget what the focus of your mission is. Yeah.
Yeah, the Veil of Stone. That's our focus.
Yeah, and once you have some intelligence on where the army is, or once that information becomes known,
Exactly.
that's something that Rikus needs to know ASAP.
I'm just going to immediately think we'll be sending a runner after this this conversation. An elven runner. I'm going to make him invisible and make him run all the way to Rikus straight away.
Yeah.
So, should we ask whether who is leading the army, or should we ask about the allies? What do you think?
Allies. Anyone allied with them.
We can make it one question. Who is leading the army and what are its allies? What do you think?
I don't know how your magic works. Just if that the question sounds it's sound.
Yeah.
I think so. So what are the questions we're asking now? One about location, one about the allies. Was there another one?
But while we're waiting for that, thank you very much to Blink Fin Boop for $10. You guys are awesome. Here's a healing fruit.
Ooh, thanks.
Nice.
Very
Thank you
cool.
very much, Blink.
All right, let's see who gets it.
Much appreciated. Just wanted to mention that if we do start a hype train, depending on the level of the hype train, we can also do gift cards to give away to the Kraken Dice Store. Oh look, the Streamlabs has just posted it up there. Anything that we do make on this channel goes straight back into this channel, so thank you very much to your guys' generosity. Much appreciated.
Who gets the fruit?
Oh, you're waiting for me for that, sorry.
I'm not doing it.
Oh my god.
Three-way 20 tie there. Wow.
I rolled
So do we all get it?
I rolled 7
That's a four-way
dice.
tie.
7 dice and 4 criticals.
Oh, yeah, there are 4, yeah. And the and the DM. We don't like
Is
that.
it a 4-way tie?
Yes.
Do we all get
Die,
potion?
I rolled again, so it's DM, Bengal, Portek, and Ra. Let me roll again.
Okay.
Wow.
I
If I
posted
get
a
it-
screenshot of it in
It's
chat.
Hey!
It's crazy.
Bengal.
Yay, potion fruit.
Nice.
All right.
For you.
Okay, Bingle Bangle, you notice actually something that none of the other group appear to have picked up on. Stuffed up the sleeve of the Templar's robe, there's actually something strapped to his sleeve. And as you pull it out, you see that it is indeed quite a juicy tarange.
Wow. How convenient.
The luck of the halflings.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Blink.
So, to get back to your question, Mingal, the 3 questions that we have so far are as follows. Where is the main Urikite army intending to attack Tearfrom? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is that we have, tell me what unit types and their unit sizes the Urikite main army is comprised of. That's the second question. And then the third question would be, who is leading the main Urikite army and who are its allies?
Did we not ask a question about what the vanguard is comprised of? Or are we
Yes.
asking about the army?
Now we're asking about the main army, so we can actually relay that to Rikus, that he knows what he's going to be facing.
Right. Okay, yep, that sounds good.
Also, I'll just warn you guys, just remember, if I were running an army, I wouldn't be giving my vanguard all the information about my movements and plans, just in case they're captured. they're
Yeah,
visible. We're
They
not.
would know some things, especially
They would know
because
some things,
they're-
but I'm
they're
just
holding the Veil of Stone, so they have to kind of know where the army is. So
10 miles back's a
I
large
think
breath.
there's more in there than we might think.
Is that your 3 then for the Defiler?
Yes.
Okay. So, the Defiler actually is not a higher level than you, so he doesn't even get a saving throw.
Oh, brilliant.
He's the same as you.
It would work against the level that I'm casting, correct? Not the level that I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why.
Yeah.
So, the same happens again. A vomiting of ectoplasmic mist settles across the Defiler's face. And from it, the rattle of his soul called back from the grey. Oh, God.
It is me. Where is the main Urikite army planning to attack Tyr from?
The army advances through Unik's tongue, then to strike from the north.
The Portek, you probably know. I mean, anyone, if you can see the map on Roll20 right now. You guys are right here. Is that pinging? Yes, it's pinging. There we go. You guys are right here. Unik's Tongue Canyon is actually just to the north here. Through the rocky, the Badlands.
Right.
So the army is actually attempting to cut a route away from the road and get right into the Tyr Valley through the Badlands.
That's brave.
It's very risky.
Yeah. Okay. Second question.
Are we sorry about that? Unik's Tongue Canyon or whatever that they're coming down. Are we gonna be able to defend that?
I have a feeling we can
Portek, you can't interrupt the spell to have discussions. So I need the second question from you, or the spell's over.
Tell me what unit types and unit sizes the Urikite vanguard, the Urikite main army is comprised of.
I do not know. Oh, really, I don't.
Who is leading the main Urikite army and who are its allies?
Lestic Luban leads it. The lion needs no allies.
The shade fades from view.
This Speak with Dead is brought to you by Strepsils.
Do you suffer from afterlife horse throat? I know I do. So what this tells you is a couple of things. Coming through Unik's Tongue Canyon, Bengal, your question is a good one. Can you defend it? Where it spills out into the Tyr Valley, the canyon kind of fans out. If there's a place that you wanted to strike at the vanguard as a whole, that would be the best spot. That would mean Rikus
At the main army, you mean?
at the vanguard.
Okay.
Yeah. if you want to try and meet the vanguard on a field of battle, as it were. That way, you're on the open terrain as they emerge out of the canyon. It's a
So
very
basically,
vulnerable.
basically, we're at the wrong place.
You need to back up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tougher for Rikus because he has to maneuver his army into a position to ambush the main army, which means that he's going to have to get creative, probably using other canyons to flank them on either side. And he has to do so fast. And you would have to time your destruction of the Veil of Stone with him being in position. It's doable, but time is against you.
And what if we let Vanguard out of Canyon, fight them in Tear Valley, and then bottle up army in Canyon with...
So that's another option for Rikus to consider, to send his troops into the canyon from the front, get them to flank around from the back and the sides. Coming this particular route through the canyons to get closer to Tyr without being seen is a perfect solution for Hamanu's troops, assuming you have the Veil of Stone and that it works. You would quite simply be able to walk up to Tyr's doorstep. Without the Veil of Stone, however, the army is walking into a death trap, which is your one area of advantage over them. Tyr's one area of advantage. Now, I presume that it's just you guys in the command tent. You don't have Girius, Phelan, and Vorderman there at this time.
No.
Okay.
I would probably say that Ra is probably guarding the tent, making sure, because she wasn't a part of it. She's probably just outside, keeping an eye out and making sure no one comes by.
Yeah, Tim would be standing in the doorway, so he has
Yes.
a view of outside and inside.
Yeah. Well, your camp is quiet, tense, but quiet.
Okay, so we have the Brexit left. Maybe the Brexit knows a bit more about what the army is comprised of.
Why would it?
I don't know. We can ask it 3 questions.
Why don't we send the runner now and then ask the questions?
Well, that
The
question
time's
we want.
against us.
Yeah, but the couple of minutes for us to ask this question, I think that'd be fine as long as we know that's one question might give us extra information that we would want to give the runner as well. If we can find out what the composition of that army is, that's essential news for Rikus to know. It's a shame that the Defiler did not know. It's a long shot. I would like to ask the Brexit also what that claw and that fluid is that he brought along. It's not magical. I don't know what it is, and I don't know whether it's relevant. Maybe it's something that we need to know. It is somehow animated alive. It might be something psionic. I'm not sure. I would like to know what it is and what it's for. Any objections?
Yes. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Yeah. And then we can also ask how the olivine stone works, because that is a line of communication with Salavar, but it might also be something that Salavar uses to keep tabs of us. That might be relevant. So that, for me, are the 3 questions I would like to ask the Braxat.
Is the beast intelligent enough to know these?
Braxat are very smart. They're not stupid.
So is that what you're doing? You're
I'm asking the others whether
your
they're
choppers. Okay.
Yes. What do you think?
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So we're going to repeat the question that the Defiler failed to answer about the composition of the army. That's the first one we're going to ask. And then we're going to ask about what the claw and the fluids are and what they're for. And then we're going to ask the question how the olivine stone works and whether he can be you can be tracked by it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So that glorious 2 on roll 20 there. That's the Braxat saving throw.
So that's out of the question. Literally.
Yes. So
pardon the pun.
he fails the saving throw spectacularly, and out of its reptilian mouth billows a hideous facsimile of its earthly features cast in ectoplasm.
Your vanquishers. Tell me what unit types and their unit sizes the main Urikite army is comprised of.
I do not know.
What are the claw and the milky fluids for that were in your possession, and what are they?
It is life shaped. A grappling claw and its feed.
How does the olivine stone around your neck work, and can it be used to track you?
It allows communication. And yes, they will come for you.
And with that, it is silent and gone once more.
So I suggest we summon an elven runner and send him on his way. I'll make him invisible so he can actually make his run unhindered.
Okay. Yeah. And you're sending him with that full stretch of information back to Rikus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The runner is off and away. Your message memorized, and racing into the night to find and inform the main body of the Tyr army, so that Rikus can make the preparations that he needs. You can expect a reply sometime very, very soon. As for yourselves, you absolutely have some decisions to make.
Yeah.
At present, this is still a conversation between just your group, yes?
I think we should at least have a consensus at the moment what we think, and then we will bring in the rest of the unit leaders, and then we'll see how they respond.
I think we need to get rid of that amulet first, do we not?
I don't think we should actually bring them in second. It shouldn't look like we already have a consensus before we bring in the rest of the lieutenants. It could cause division.
Sorry. If we already have a consensus?
If we already have a consensus and they come in and we're just bringing them in for their vote of approval, then it'll, in my opinion, it would create a divide between some of the lieutenants and others. And if they are lieutenants, as are we, they should all have an equal say if we want their support to remain true.
Bring them in.
That's just my opinion. You are, of course, the leader, and there are other lieutenants here who have opinions.
I concur. I think it's a sound strategy. First, I'm going to get rid of that olivine stone because I don't want it to be used to overhear us while we strategize.
Have a runner, send it out.
I'll also be leaving. I'll be back in 1-2 minutes, so that way it doesn't look like we were all standing in here when they arrive. And Tin will sneak out.
Okay, Constantine, you slip out of the tent unseen into the shadows of the camp.
Before you go, I give you the olivine stone. give it to somebody you trust and tell him to stay away from us for a while. And we'll collect it in a bit. Yeah?
Someone I trust.
Well, at least that it's away from the conversation here while we're having this strategy.
Very well.
Yeah. And then let you collect it after you had the meeting. Yeah?
Fair enough. And he'll slink out.
Okay.
Ra will put on the boots that Tin has given her.
Oh wow. Okay, so they look like they're not going to fit to begin with, but then as your big toe starts to nudge at the opening, they expand, slide around your ankles, and then snugly resize themselves around your feet. So.
And they look like Huggies.
That armor class boost to you. We'll just take that off Tin. Tin, your standard AC is now 17.
Correct.
And Raz, your standard armor class goes up to 18. Good job, well done.
And I will stay outside the
Plus
tent,
one.
listening out for anyone approaching still until basically.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So there are people moving back and forward, camp followers helping to make sure that everything is, stowed away for the night. Cook's calling the last people over to mess. Guards doing their patrols. The camp itself is, as I said before, though, fairly quiet. Constantine, are you going somewhere in particular? Do you want me to cover what you're doing right now?
That's a problem. He doesn't trust anybody outside of that tent. So
Yes, I saw that. Someone I trust. Oh, I need to rethink my entire life.
Give
yeah,
it to
my
Ra,
entire
and
life.
she'll wear in the new boots. She'll go for a jog.
She covered. Yeah, he'll find a way to hide it. And then we'll stay just far enough so that people can't see him. And then once all the lieutenants have gathered, he'll enter.
Okay. Specifically, where are you putting this thing?
I am thinking about that right now.
Okay, then I'll get back to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Matthias, Tick Tick, and Bingle Bangle. Anything you're going to do while the lieutenants assemble? Or are you gonna wait for them to arrive?
I just wanted to keep an eye out on the camp and make sure that all our defenses, because we dug in, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that all the lookouts are doing their job, making sure that any kind of
Yes, they are. And after the little elven visit of the previous evening, there's very little late night drinking going on. That's giving people a little bit of a
scare,
a rod for their backs. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so before too long, then duly summoned Templar Girias, Phelan, and Captain Vordman present themselves in the command tent. So, Vortek, Girias says, what's this about, eh?
Strategy.
Excellent. Yes. Good. Well, I appreciate you for calling on me. I will offer what assistance I can.
Fordman?
Woodman just looks at you and nods.
And I look at the half elf.
Phelan sits himself on one of the sofas on the side, grabs a carafe of scuppernong and pops the top, pours himself a glass.
So we have some decisions to make. We interrogated this sorry lot here, and we know where the main army and the vanguard is going to strike from.
Curious nods. So, we should make sure that we have some runners sent straight away Rikus, I will,
Already done.
Oh. No, right, of course. Yes, good. Yes, well done.
It's about the decisions that we
So,
make.
yes, well, I mean, if we have their location, the solution is obvious. Then we have at it. We march against them, and we put them down and water our good Tyrian soil with Urikite blood. Eh? Yes, that's good. Right. Well, I will go and pass the order to the men. We shall break camp and set off immediately as soon as you give the word on the location.
I would like to hear from my other commanders too.
Girias pouts a bit, and you can see him visibly remind himself, "Oh, wait, you're not the commander. Just pretend you approve." He steps back. No, yes, of course. No, absolutely. We have to, things have to be seen to be done the right way. Quite right. Carry on. Vorderman just looks straight ahead. Minthor troops will do whatever we're commanded. Phelan from the sofa. Well, far be it from me to gainsay such incisive military acumen, or a deep display of imagination there, Captain Vorderman. My question is a simple one. Why are we attacking the enemy vanguard at all? Our job is to get rid of that veil of stone, isn't it?
It is.
Do you know who has it?
Yes.
Well, let me send a small concealed group in, find the person who has it, take it from them, and destroy it. It seems to me this entire endeavor has been predicated upon the assumption that we're going to meet in battle. Doesn't seem to me that that's even necessary.
You have a good point. Anybody else have an opinion on that?
Vorderman scowls. The Minthor troops. We came here to win glory for our house. If you're telling me that all that was required is that we march for 4 days out into the desert,
Boardman, can I
stand on the sidelines, and then march again 4 days back to the city?
I mean, I was going to say that sneaking, sort of in and out, that's an option. However, I don't feel like there are enough people, here in this immediate group that are sneaky types. There's Tin and there's Matthias, but me and Ra, there's no way we're sneaking in and out. I mean, I might be able to a little bit, but not Ra, and definitely not Tick.
Not to mention that it's outright cowardly. It's cowardly. No, I won't put my vote to that. No, I'm with Vorderman here. We find them and we meet them head on. We give them what for.
We're still considering this. I would like to answer Vorderman first here. You're not here to get glory for Minthor troops. You're here to protect Minthor lands, remember? That army, if that breaks through, that's it. It's the end of Tyr. It's the end of Minthor.
There might be a way that we can do it both ways, with sneaking and also, sort of attacking head on. If we were, for example, still to send in Tin or Matthias, or like both of them in a small unit, we send them in to, where the vanguard is, while then we, the people that can't sneak, the people that are, ready to fight them head on, we distract them and take as many forces out as possible, while these other people actually are doing what needs to be done. We're the distraction.
Also, we must not underestimate missile fire. They have slingers.
Yeah, that's true.
They actually have less missile fire than we do, which is surprising, actually.
Yeah, but they have cavalry.
That's their advantage, yeah. And they have a significant amount.
We lure cavalry into spear charge.
Yeah, and maybe even into prepared defenses.
Just
you ha-
if we thin their numbers a bit, it might be easier for them to go in and find the Veil of Stone.
Yeah.
You know?
The Veil of Stone is with the leader of the army. So he will have his strongest people around him. So either way, I don't know. I'm not sure whether we have a team that is ready to do a surgical strike like that. Although we did do a fairly surgical strike just recently. So it's
You're
something we
losing
could-
a lot less people, Phelan
Yeah.
says.
Would I be able to sneak in with them if that was the plan we were going for? Because I am a halfling, but I don't have any sneak skills, I don't think. But I am
No,
like
exactly. By virtue of your size and nature, yes. That's all. You don't have any.
because then if we had the sort of rogues, and then if like you say the person holding the leader of the army that has the Veil of Stone is heavily guarded, then at least we'd be able to bring some muscle.
Speaking of which, Girius says, where's your archer fellow? The sneaky one who's always skulking around. Surely he should have some input into this.
He should be here.
Constantine, the Olivine, where exactly do you hide it?
So I sent you a question in Zoom. I've sent you messages where he's been going around to some of the civilians who have been scared, trying to build one or two of them up to be more of an example to the others. I was
yes,
are
okay.
any of them about?
Yeah, sure. It's not hard for you to locate the citizen volunteers.
I
They're
would
just
find one of
settling
the.
themselves down for the evening.
I would send one of the ones that I've been befriending and kind of building up. Probably whichever one was the scaredest to start with,
Yes.
because obviously they would have had the most to lose. They wouldn't have been scared if they knew they were fine. And supplant that person to guard my tent, but give them the item.
Okay. Well, you kind of planted on him, as it were.
Yeah, he doesn't know he has it.
Okay, fine. All right, Constantine. And so you're then heading back to the lieutenant's meeting. When you hear a startled yell coming from behind you. A yell that very rapidly becomes an agonized scream.
I will immediately pull out an arrow into my bow and head in that direction.
Okay, you go running back in the direction. You find yourself running back toward your tent, actually. There is the mangled wreckage of the man's body on the ground. Standing over him, you're not sure how the hell they got into the camp, is a half-giant. And there are two more appearing out of your tent. From the way they kind of look around the camp, for a moment, you think they're walking corpses. One of them's missing an eye, another has wounds across its body, their flesh is grey. The stench of putrefaction washes off them. Whatever they are, they're not alive. From the shadows behind them, just in the darkness of your tent, a man's voice says,
Kill as many as you can.
and even as you're racing up, there is the incantation of a spell. And the half-giant zombies, for surely that is what they are, begin to move with incredible speed and just start hewing about them at all the various guards, camp staff, and warriors who've happened to have gotten too close to your tent. 3 more are dead in the time that it takes you to see it happening. What do you do?
How far am I from the command tent?
From the command tent, you're about 200 yards from the command tent and about 50 yards from your own tent.
Do I hear this? Sorry, just to.
A minute, Constantine first.
Immediately, I would just. Well, I know Ra's hearing, so I'm going to scream assistance to the camp.
Okay.
To get a set off an alert.
All right. Tin's voice rings out, assistance to the camp! Then what do you do?
I'm going to immediately start moving away from the half giants while putting arrows into where I heard the voice coming from within my tent.
Okay. So whatever is in your tent is behind some degree of cover. You can take shots at armor class 28, please, to try and punch arrows clear through the tent canvas or whatever's inside.
What distance did you say that was at?
50 yards.
50 yards. Is that short range or medium range?
I'm not sure off the hand.
Should be short.
I think it's short range, yeah.
Should be short range, yeah.
You've got one knocked as well, so that'd be 4 arrows.
Yeah, I got one knocked as well, so.
Yeah. Okay.
I am just the worst. Wow.
All right, it takes you a couple of moments to find your mark, but a pair of the arrows do rip through the canvas, and you hear the shout of someone as one of the arrows finds its way home.
All right.
Okay. Ra, you were by the tent entrance, so you're the first to hear Constantine's call of alarm, and you can see. Sorry, my mistake. You can hear the sound of feet running, voices shouting in consternation, and the sound of what is unmistakably bone hewing into flesh.
Okay, hearing this, yell into the command tent. I think we're under attack, and I will charge towards where I heard Tin shout for help.
Okay,
cool.
yeah, I follow and I get my swinging sticks out.
I follow as well.
Can I have an initiative roll, please, from anybody who wants to run over there and involve themselves in whatever's going on?
Oh, geez, that's not good.
That's really bad.
That's not good at all.
I saw a 15 there for Rob. Bengal?
4.
A 4, that's nice.
New
Constantine?
shoes. I haven't worn them
12.
in yet.
Yeah, exactly. They're just kind of pinching a little bit. Matthias?
6.
A 6. Tick, tick.
12.
And anything from Portek?
5.
5. Okay, Bengal, you go running off in that direction, presumably. You can see what appear to be a trio of half-giant zombies have come lumbering out of Constantine's tent and are just murdering the crap out of whomever they can reach. People are already fleeing away, but even as you watch, one of them grabs hold of a cook from by the back of his neck, yanks him back, and just hits his body with an immense club. The lower half of the cook's body comes apart, quite simply like a shattered piece of fruit. And the half-giant is still holding his horrified upper half of his body, death shock on the cook's face for a few moments before he absentmindedly drops him and goes lumbering off in search of another target. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm going to sheath my stinging sticks and take out the
Yes.
sword of Camelot.
Okay.
And I'm going to... You said that there was one walking off away from me?
Yes.
Right. I'm going to go up to that one and... do I get 2 attacks or 1?
You get 2.
Okay, so...
3 if you use both sticks.
No, for the sword of Camelot.
Oh, the sort of camera. Sorry, it's 2.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to hit him just, 1, 2, and...
All right, the half giants are only on plus 14, so those are both solid hits.
All right,
You can
good.
miss up behind him, slash once, slash twice, D8 against large. Oh. Okay.
Not bad.
17. Alrighty. The half giant swings around to face you, stares down with barely focused eyes. You can see one of them is rolled back in its socket and is seeping fluid from underneath. Portek.
I get my gear on and get my long spear and start charging one of them.
Okay, snatch your spear, run forward, and charge. Is this the same one that Bagal has attacked already?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Would that still be initiative 5 then?
No. So I would now be on +6, right? I'm not seeing it.
So that puts you on 11.
Yes.
Okay. Matthias, you see Portek grab his spear, set it, and then run for the nearest of the half giants. As he's running, what do you do?
I charge towards it and try to trip it. The giant.
Go for it.
Actually, it's 13, Mark. Sorry. Not 11.
13. Okay.
Yeah.
Or do I disarm it? I try to disarm it with this club.
Disarm the club. Okay. 2 disarm rolls, please.
15 and 24.
No. The first one is nowhere near strong enough. The second one does actually land around his forearm, but you can't pull it away sufficiently from the club to disarm.
And I will rapid retreat back and hide in shadows if I can.
Yes. Okay. The thing spins, swings once for Bagal. That hits armor class 22. Bagal, that is a hit against you. The giant's club comes swinging down, high overhead blow, cracks against you for 12 damage.
I heard my name. What happened?
Giant hit you with big stick,
damage.
12 damage.
Oh, fuck.
You're on
1 second.
43 hit points. And with its second blow, swings for your retreating back. This is not an attack of opportunity, Matthias. It's just a regular attack. Hits armor class 15, which I'm almost certain is going to be a miss for you. Yes. You nimbly leap away, hearing the club whistle behind you through the air, dealing no damage. The sound of your attacks against the half giants draws the attention of the other two, particularly aided by whomever it is in the tent.
Yes, them, slay them.
Are there any other troops around, like in the camp? Like, are they not helping us?
Okay,
What are they doing?
the first thing that your troops have done is run the hell away from the half giants. You can see several of them have backed away. Some are looking on in shock. Some are looking in horror at the wreckage the half giants are making of anybody they've come into contact with. As I've said, they've killed 5 people already. So, absent any orders from their commanders, they're hanging back and hoping that the high-level heroes will save the day. The other 2 half giants, having been ordered by whomever is in the tent to turn their attention upon you, do so. Portek, you're moments away from landing your spear charge when one comes lumbering out the side of a tent between 2 tents nearby you and swings twice at you with its club, hitting armor classes 23 and 21. Oh, ouch. Okay, so Portek, a low blow to your body, a high one to the middle of your back. 4 plus 24 damage. That puts you on 25 hit points.
It's half damage. It's blunt.
From bludgeoning damage, that's right, it is. So 12 only, so that's 37. Nice class ability, racial ability. Yes, your thick dwarven hide protects you from the worst of the impact, and you manage to steady yourself and continue with your charge. Matthias, likewise, you fleeing fall afoul of the second of the creatures. 80. With an 80? Oh, less than 90. Good. Okay, so you can see it searching around for you, fails to locate you. That leaves Bengal. Bengal is the only other one nearby. Swings twice, a natural 20 and armor class 20. Those are both hits Bengal Bengal. That's a straight off 18 from the natural 20. That puts you on 35, 25. And the second strike, 3 plus 13. Bengal, you're left on 12 hit points.
Oh
now
my
facing
God.
2 half giants standing over you, just wailing down at you with their massive clubs. However,
Good
we
thing
are
that
now. Just a good thing that you what?
It's a good thing that like I have a healing fruit now.
That was going to come in handy, you think? Constantine and Tick on a 12.
Oh, go ahead, Tick Tick. I already shot some
Go.
arrows.
No, go ahead because I'm actually going to change my action to something else.
Okay. So through the holes that I made with my wild shooting last time, can I see what's inside my tent?
Yeah, you dodge your head sideways. There is a man in there dressed in a tattered grey robe with some kind of weird headpiece and what looks like goggles, like thin slices of mica or obsidian over his head.
A man, you say? Is it a human man?
It is a human, yes, the worst
Yay!
kind.
Well, good for me. I'm going to put 3 more arrows into this son of a bitch.
When a human shows up, tin. I hate those. Great.
Good. Go for it. Through the hole, he's still treated as armor class 28.
Well, fuck him.
Oh, shitballs. Whoa.
There's +4 to each of them as well.
No,
So-
I know. No, actually, no. That's if you look at them, it says.
Oh, is that with it? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
SRF. It means favored, so that's
Oh,
automatically
yeah.
accounting.
Yeah, so
Wow.
the 3 arrows go 1, 2, 3 through the holes in the tent that you've made and slam home into, okay,
So,
18, 30 damage.
is that counting the 21 from last time?
What do you mean? The 21?
I didn't I hit him twice last time?
Yes, you did.
So that's the 21 from last time.
Yes.
So 21 from last time, and then more fun this time for an additional 30.
Yeah, okay. Figure staggers sideways and slumps against what must be your bunk. You can see him collapse to the floor inside your tent, gasping and coughing. Tick, tick.
I was going to charge into the back of the tent and attack him from behind.
Okay. Yeah, you go racing into the tent. There is a man sprawled on the floor, 3 or 4 arrows sticking out of him. Kind of looks up at you in abject horror as a huge crane comes racing into the back of the tent.
Chop, 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 chop.
Go for it. He's only armor class 20 close up.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bite. Okay, maybe not the bite then. Is he still armor class 28?
No, he's armor class 20, so that's 1,
Okay,
2,
it's four
four
hits.
Nah, he was only so hard to hit because I was shooting at him through
through
canvas.
holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another
40
22,
40.
40 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you tear into his body as the 1, 2 second blow strikes home. His body goes rigid, and there is a rush of air around him, followed by a popping noise as his body vanishes, leaving only a swirl of dust where he was lying.
Okay. Right.
Portek.
My
You're
charge
alive.
connects with one of the giants. So here we go.
Hit.
Mhm. And it's double damage, right?
No, it's double damage to receive a charge. Or when you're on a charging mount, not when you're running.
Okay, then he just gets the damage.
Just 3d6, isn't it?
Yes.
And those things have reach, don't they? Long spears.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
This is without the bonuses. Let me get a quick check.
Nice.
Where's his bonuses?
Oh,
Damn it.
good roll.
That's a very good roll.
And he gets 4. So that is 19.
19. Okay.
I would like to say thank you from the OCD in me that's a 4 or 5 plus it's in order sequentially. I'm big fan. Big
Yeah,
fan.
it feels
Okay. Your spear runs clear through the half giant. It doesn't seem to react in pain, but does look down at the shaft of wood that's gone straight through its belly. There's no blood. Looks down at you, glaring and growling. And finally, Ra.
So who is everyone still up? Basically,
So it's a completely
right?
confused melee around Constantine's tent, which is why I'm not using a battle map here. There are these 3 half-giant zombies lumbering about the place. Tin has just fired arrows into his tent. Tic-Tic's run into the tent. Vortex run up and stabbed one of the half-giants. Two of them are beating on Bengal, who's fighting back bravely, but doesn't look like he's going to last much longer. And of Matthias, of course, there's nothing to be seen.
Hearing the distress from Bengal and the overwhelming of probably 2 half giants wailing, I will go to hit one of those, either or, and try and just whack them with my Latulas. I think I get 3 on my first one, so 30, 23, and a 16.
Nice.
All 3 hit.
Oh, nice. And they are large because they're giants, right?
Yes, they are indeed.
Let's see this.
Oh my god.
My brain can't math right now, but that.
my god.
Oh my god.
The first
71.
71 points of damage.
The first 2 blows kill the injured half giant who's standing right over Bengal, and then with your offhand, you swing and deal 23 damage to the one standing next to it. It staggers backward, chunks of rotted flesh falling away from its undead body.
And then I would like to grab Bengal and, using my new boots, try and spring away without being attacked.
Okay, all right. Yes, all right. You grab your halfling companion, and all of a sudden, Bengal, you are airborne.
Boing.
You didn't even realize that Ra could do this, but yeah.
I feel like it surprises Ra as well. Like, she jumps back and then she's like, wait a minute, what?
Okay.
I can see my house from here.
Finish, please.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my god.
I can't believe you said that.
Wow.
Omg.
Jesus.
Okay, Bingle Bangle.
I got a 4.
You got a 4. Constantine.
Rolling.
Rolling.
Get them.
I'm sorry that I started that.
Keep
Once
those
it
initials.
rolls, there's 3.
3. Matty. Matthias.
8.
Tick.
Ay. I need to find the button to push. Hold on. There we go.
Just say a number from 1 to 10.
What? 13.
Okay.
Man, I'm on
Portek.
the ball today.
You had one job, 1 to 10, and you messed it up.
Yeah, exactly. Panic.
Portek has a glorious 18.
18? What on earth are you doing? What the?
You rolled a 10 and a spear is 8 or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I do get 2 attacks as well.
Yeah.
Ra.
An 8.
An 8. Okay.
Say a number between 1 and 10. 48!
It's just lazy. Constantine.
How far am I from that injured half giant?
You can position yourself anywhere you need to be. He's easily within movement range.
I'll be within. I'll just get within 30 feet of him, and I'll take my shots. 20, 25, and a 30.
All 3 hit.
Fantastic.
You can only miss an unnatural one.
And hit it for 27.
7 damage.
Oh wait,
Yeah, okay.
that's actually a mistake. I did not click the. I did not get my bonus damage from being short point blank range.
Got
So
another
that's an
6.
extra. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
extra.
All right. All 3 arrows. Yeah, you almost like kind of walking out slow. Another. Another punching into the half-giant zombie, step by step as you draw closer and closer to it. Its body twitches and judders as each war shaft strikes its putrescent form. Bengal.
Yes.
So you've been moved some small distance away from the melee by your bouncing half-giant companion.
Yeah, thank God for that. I want to. How much do I have? Health 12.
How many hit points? You have 12. Yes.
Yeah, use a sword.
Well, I don't know whether to use the sword or the lovely healing fruit, but I think I'm going to use the sword because I've got it out anyway. I'll just do a quick healing. Is that 1d8?
It is 1d8, yes.
Uno.
And, 2, great. I get 2 hit points back.
Okay, but they're good hit points. They're the best
Are
kind.
they? Yeah,
Eat
okay.
just down the fruit at the same time.
And I think, can we assume that I sort of activate my acrobatics roll and my armor optimization?
Yeah, you reset your armor and limber up a little bit. And, your armor class goes up by an awful lot of numbers. Meanwhile, in the core of the melee, sensing Constantine as at least a partial threat, one of the half giants just turns and comes lumbering towards you in a wild, uncoordinated swagger, swinging. Oops, that one fell off. No four dice. That was a miss, and that one is a miss. You roll under one blow, duck sideways of the other, and I'll say from any damage, Portek will see if the same applies to you as the other remaining half giant. Armor class 28 and armor class 16, so that's one. Yeah, for a total of 14 damage. The war club swings sideways, catches you across the jaw. Your whole head rings from the impact.
It's already halved, right?
You are on 7 off that, which is 30 hit points you're on now. Yes, that's halved. Okay, Matthias and Ra.
I will try to trip it, just so it makes it easier.
The injured one?
Yep, the one that Ra's fighting.
Yep.
I will try to trip it. I don't think this is working too well. Oh, have we got 29?
Yeah, 29. That's enough. Yes. Okay, great. Whip lashes in around its lower leg. Yank. And the half giant hits the ground with a bone juddering thud.
Ra, it's on the floor, and I will disappear into the shadows once more. that rhymed.
Ra will just under her breath.
Wow.
Yeah, he tries to. He's like, my work is done here. But you can totally still see her.
Yeah. She can't. She knows I'm standing right next to her, though. I do move out of combat, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
I will say perfect, and filled with rage of them beating up on my little buddy, I will charge towards and stomp down on his delicate area while swinging with my Lotulus. So let me try.
Oh, my hero.
My hero. Wait, that's initiative. Wait, hold on. I screwed it up. I don't know what I'm doing at any time. So 32 and a 22 to hit with the Lotulus.
Yeah, you get 3 attacks.
I've been confused
I get
since
another
1986.
Yeah, two main hand and one offhand. So they all hit. So give me the first one first, because that might be enough to kill the down half giant.
I do.
Yes.
22 points of damage.
He doesn't even get off the floor anymore. Your Lotulus comes down overhand, takes out his throat, and then for the other two, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anyone else nearby I can just unleash hell onto?
There's a third one who is harassing Portek, so that he takes 41 damage.
Yeah, 41.
Yeah. So yeah, you rush back in and deal bloody devastation to the half-giant zombies, flattening one completely and tearing great greasy grey chunks out of the other.
Now I
Uh,
will.
yes.
I don't know if I'll be able to pick Portek up and protect him. So I'm probably actually, instead of backing out again, I will actually stay and put myself in between Portek and the giant to protect
Okay.
him.
Nice. All right. And Tick.
The half giant who was just attacked by Ra.
Yeah, the only one standing. Yeah, he's facing off against Portek. Yeah.
So he's facing away from me, right?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay, I attack him from behind, full force.
So you basically burst out of the tent.
Yeah, and just go on his back.
Okay.
Poor guy doesn't know what's coming.
He's dead. I mean, he's undead.
No, he's. This is gonna be over pretty dead.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bite. All hits.
Yeah.
He's large. Well, not that that makes a big difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bite.
Okay, what's that? 17, 28, 38, 48. There we go, dead. All right.
56.
Yeah, this fury bug erupts out of the nearby tent and utterly devastates the remaining half giant. A few moments it takes for people to kind of catch their bearings, catch their breath. 3 half giant zombies lie wrecked and dismembered. 5 of your own people. A cook. 2 of the craftsmen. 3 of your warriors. Slain by the creatures before you're able to put them down. And as to whatever brought them here, presumably the individual you flattened in the tent, Tick. He's gone as quickly as he came. And then about 10 minutes after this, Portek, you get to take your spear attack.
Really?
I'm almost ready.
I was gonna do a brilliant.
Portek's still just standing there, like, and we're going.
Finally got my 2 attacks.
Wait, hold on.
Can we break that and destroy that item?
I'm gonna go search the mangled mess of the person that I put the item on.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's not break it. Let's just bury it here.
it's
we,
there.
can we can come back for it later.
I look for some oil and torches,
Yes.
and I sprinkle oil on the undead corpses.
Yes.
And I put them to the torch.
I will call out for any healers that can give assistance to any of our wounded.
Okay.
Don't want these things coming back.
Bagal, Portek, then you are tended by the camp's healers over the course of the night. As the camp fills with the greasy reek of the half-giant bodies burning.
Finn, I know what to
Yeah.
do with the thing. Give it to me. I'll just
Gladly
stick it.
hand it over.
Yeah. I find myself a location which I can find back, and I take it, sink into the ground, and deposit it somewhere underground,
And leave it there.
and leave it there. Yeah. And then I come back out of the ground.
There is some consternation going through the camp now. Conversations and rumors and nervous mutterings that we're facing necromancers now. They have the undead at their command. We've come out here to die. Tithian has sent us all out here to die.
Does any of this come back to me?
Yeah, you only have to be walking through the camp. People try and keep it down quiet when they see you walking past, but these rumors are everywhere.
Okay.
We should dig these bodies.
Yes. Bury them.
Yes.
Yes.
I arrange a burial detail.
Okay. The moons are riding high when the elven runner returns. Little out of breath. I bring word from Rikus, he says.
Okay.
He says as follows. Deal with the vanguard. At a time of your choosing. Let him know when the time will be. And he will have his troops in position and ready to strike at the main army once it can be seen. I await your pleasure to return your reply.
Okay. How far are we marching distance from that place where the Inix Canyon?
In Inix Canyon, you could be back there within 2 or 3 hours of solid
3 hours.
marching. Yeah,
Good.
slightly less than half a day, and they will be coming down at the same sort of speed. So you will probably have, if you choose that as an ambush site, you'll probably have about 2, maybe 3 hours to prepare. Some time, but not lots.
Not lots. I look at the crafters, the trading guys.
Phelan is ready to hear what you have to say.
How quickly can you put up defenses?
Depends on what kind of defenses you're looking for, what
Like-
and where.
You have 2 hours, light defenses, something that might trap the cavalry. Something
Earthworks. Yes.
Yes.
You can place some earthworks on some trenches.
And some sticks.
Some sticks that maybe we can pull out of hiding once they make a charge.
Oh. We can make small trenches in the earth that will conceal your spears.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, we can do this.
Okay.
And we can we prepare the ground with fire, oil?
Oh. We would need a vast amount of oil.
Which we don't have. We
Which
didn't
we
bring
don't
that with us, did we?
No. Okay.
Would it not be
Yes,
best for us to set up?
fire trenches are possible, but
Would it be best for us to set up at the mouth to not allow the cavalry to come out?
Yes.
I think I would request you guys to, all of you, to be with me at the head of the column of our troops, and then we start marching and we discuss on the march. We need to
Agreed.
buy ourselves as much time as we can to prepare on that ambush site. We need to go, and we need to
Yes.
send this elf back so that Rikus can get into place as well.
Yes.
So, you said 3 hours. So in 5 hours, we give ourselves 5 hours to get ready for the attack from the vanguard. That's correct,
5.
right?
Yes.
Sorry, you're breaking up, Mark.
Sorry, 6 hours would be fairly accurate for a point of direct encounter between you and the vanguard.
Okay,
So Rikus would need to be positioned within that.
6 hours then, and that's what we sent the elf back for with.
The elf nods. Understood, lords. I will convey your desires to Lord Rikus. 6 hours. And then he's off. So as for you then, I presume it's break the camp down and get marching.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
It's evening currently, correct?
Yeah, it's night now, yes.
I'd say we
Now,
take
as-
my camp and my tent and whatever we don't need, leave it out here and burn it. Better if they think we're still camping out here than moving immediately.
Yeah, you know that they're traveling at night.
So if they see our fires, then they will not think we're moving. Let's use that to
Well,
our advantage.
Those burning undead will make a nice thick smoke column.
Mhm.
But a different smoke as well.
Yes.
I think that makes sense.
We take all the defenses that we've built up here, any kind of sticks and stuff that we've pushed into the ground, we have them all taken out so that we can carry those with us.
Yes.
Anything that we can use as barriers, shields, like little, what do you call those things? Like,
Mantlets.
Yeah.
things that you can hide behind, basically.
Yeah,
Anything like
mantlets.
that,
Yeah.
we'll bring those.
Save what's usable. If it's not, it burns, and we move.
Okay. That follows.
Healing wise, guys, how worried are you? Let's address that briefly.
I think Mark said
Okay,
take care
so
of us.
with the assistance of the camp followers and the various healers you have on hand, Magal, you are healed up to 40.
Yep.
Portek, you're fully healed. And that's it, isn't it? You and Portek.
Yeah.
So
How much is Bengal still? Out?
15 off.
15 off.
Is Tin fully healed as well? Because he was knackered after last week.
Yes, yeah. It's all been taken care of.
Okay. I give Bengal 15 berries.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Little hobbitses.
So, Bengal, you stuff yourself on good berries.
There's always room for seconds.
Stupid fat hobbits.
You begin to feel a little sick, but you don't stop. So, jolly good.
How many have you had? 4.
All right, so then we have a montage.
Yes.
The tents being broken down, spears being laid into wagons.
What's the song in the background for the montage?
Eye of the Tiger. Why not?
Final countdown?
No, Danger
No.
Zone.
No, Team America. Fuck yeah.
How about She Bangs by Ricky Martin? I don't know. Something.
That's a different party. What
is happening?
I was going to vote for Spice Girls.
No, to be honest, it has to be To Tame a Land by Iron Maiden. So,
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
but I'm not going to play it because we'll just get another fucking copyright strike. Yeah, spears being laid into wagons, the enixes with the arbalests on their back being checked, straps being tightened, and then individual shots of Constantine checking his bow, Matthias working with his whips, Tick arraying the Dassel Chakachas across your bandoliers, Bagal just really stuffing his face over and over again with beetles. It's with
Berries.
berries.
And
They're
beetles.
it's on his hands, running down his chin. He's even got some up his back. I don't know how the hell he managed that, but he's done it. Ra staring out into the darkness, just idly going through the maneuvers with your Latulis second nature. And Portek on the back of a wagon, giving orders for this troop to be assembled there. That formation to be tightened up there. Those supplies to be stowed properly there. And then the final shot is of the army winding its way back up the Tyr Valley into the darkness, while behind the remnants of the camp burn, filling the night sky with leaping flames and plumes of smoke. The last bit of subterfuge for the Urikites. Right. Lee, would you please bring up the map on Roll20, please, so everyone can see what we've been arsing around with here.
Arse.
This is the entrance to Inik's Tongue Canyon, or the exit, should I say. And I've just randomly plonked your various troops down on the side there, and you guys are over here in the middle. I would suggest that you decide on how to apportion and position your troops. The enemy will be approaching from this direction within 2 game hours. We will, of course, montage those. Lots of pictures of people digging trenches and sticking sticks in the ground and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, yes, please, over here, for those of you who weren't watching us during the break, 40 gladiator troops, 20 Templars here, 100 troops loyal to House Minthur. The citizen volunteers have been incorporated into that. 40 crafters and craftsmen. They don't really fight, but they will if they have to. And down the bottom here, we have 90 of Cled's Dwarven Militia, which Portak has been working on so assiduously since, like, episode 1. And a trio of Inixes, each with a light ballista, an arbalest mounted on its back. Lee, what are you doing?
Everyone keeps donating bits for me to lift this thing up. It's heavy. It's heavy, guys. All right. While we're doing that, thank you very much, Beard Wardo, for 5 gifted subs. Manx for another 100 bits, and Coricland for 200 bits. Thank you very much, guys. We've already hit a level 3.
It's a 4. I think it's a level 4.
We're a level. We're level 4 now, or
I don't know. It says LVL4, and if
So
video games
it's
taught me
level
anything.
so we're currently on level 3. It's building up the level 4.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't understand how technology works.
I
I'm new to
know.
computers.
it's working on level 4. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated.
So cool.
Thanks.
I don't know these things.
Uncure.
Got
I
sweat
love
on
it.
now.
Yes,
I just
so
want Jade to throw out his back lifting that dice.
actually do an actual injury. So yeah, each square on the map is 10 yards, 30 feet. Have at it. Decide where you want to put your little people.
My people are not little.
You should be able to move them all around. With the training that you've had, all troops are now considered regulars. I remember you said you were training the militia on the last couple of days. So they can all form tight formations as shown here, except for the gladiators who will be in a slightly looser formation.
If I may make a suggestion, I say that they
Yes.
make a wall around all of us and keep us safe as we just head on
Just
through.
like march.
They just make a wall around us, and that's my
Human-
suggestion.
A human meat shield. I like that.
I think the best thing to do would be to create some kind of earthworks in the narrowest part of the canyon, presumably
Okay,
here.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Now, is these lines? They represent contours. Is this lower by
Yes.
some
Yeah.
degree?
Yeah. Each
So they
contour is 10 feet.
Okay, so presumably they can't just climb up there.
No, you can, but it takes an inch off their movement. It takes a point off their movement to climb.
Right. So if we put an earthworks between these boulders here and this column of rock, we should be able to do that in the foreseeable future.
Okay.
We could put
And
some
perhaps-
archers up here. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
and perhaps we can do a second earthworks from here to here. So vertically, as it were. Does that make sense?
Show me again.
So from these boulders here
Yeah.
to these boulders here.
Okay.
That way we have the narrowest part.
Earthworks, they can be. It's not like a wall. They can cross those, right?
Yeah, it's a ditch, but it just slows them down. And it will
Right.
break any cavalry charge.
Yeah. So you want to have one from. I'm not
From
being-
here to
Yeah.
here.
Or where's the second ping coming?
Here, sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
to
correct.
there. Yeah. So that's all on a level ground, correct?
Okay.
And then from that on the level above it, 10 feet higher, we'd also have some kind of barrier, maybe not an earthworks, but some spikes, if something to just slow them down, in
Well,
case
I
they
think
decide to circumvent that.
Yeah, an earth wall maybe. That's not a bad idea. It's a good place to put.
I mean, they won't be getting their cavalry up there, but if anybody tries to get up there and flank it, then we have something up there.
Fair
All
enough.
right, and so the next one to go sort of vertical from there.
Yeah,
Like
up until the
this.
next contour line, presumably. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
that
that.
makes the most sense because it cuts off that avenue. Makes it a little more difficult.
Besides, unless there's some kind of way they can get through this area here.
No.
The
But
rocky
unless you-
terrain would make it too difficult, I believe, to move.
I don't know that if there's like if people could walk through their single file or something, we could maybe fill that in with as many boulders as we can to just block it off.
Yes.
Okay, but this is a fairly direct strategy what you're putting here. There's nothing surprise about this.
Well,
You're
what
just
do you-
you're putting a thing down, bang there, and they walk into it, and that's it. They see it.
Well, what do you suggest?
No, I'm just saying this is what you're, because from this decision, other decisions follow. So we need to
Well, unless you have a better strategy, I'm all ears.
Well, I was thinking maybe that we lure them into a cavalry trap. We lure their cavalry out. That's what I was thinking, and then we feint a retreat. And we still have the elves as well. They're going to be here as well. Remember?
I don't want to rely on them because they're not very reliable.
I understand your Kree nature thinks that this of elves, but I think maybe we can trust. Trust is hard won with elves, and once you've won it, it is freely given. It's my experience with elves, but there you go.
The good thing about this strategy is we can create a narrow damming. Like we can have one section in the middle of that earthworks that is still flat ground, so we can funnel them.
Yeah, maybe we can make the lower part of this earthworks here. We try and hide it so that we actually can trigger them to actually charge it.
Yes.
And then at the last moment they see, oh damn, it is actually a trap.
Do we
Well,
have? We can use
between-
tarpaulins.
Hold on.
Yes.
Between,
We peg tarpaulins over it, but it's
Sand.
actually a ditch.
Yeah.
And then we use sand to cover the tarpaulins, so you don't see it.
because this is right here is 40. Well, let me see if it pings. So these right here are 40 feet, and then I think we said the same about over here. So if you want to create a kill zone, why don't you create something here? So this flat Earth stays flat, but it puts them in our lines. And since this is covering, since this area right here is all covered, and they have to climb that anyway, it's already taken care of on the one side. So we're filtering them from that top all the way through this junction here. Once they come out on the other side, you're not going to be able to control them too much. But if you're only trying to control them to literally come down to here in this funnel that's already naturally being made, along with, like I said, that works right here, we're giving ourselves a lot of room to play with. And because we're only really putting something on one side here, they're more willing to come into it and fill that area because they're not going to see anything else in this area. And then we can be covering this area of them coming through with archers, which will then be creating bodies that they're going to have to climb over at a rapid rate. Does that make sense to anyone?
It
Where
is
would
the
you put-
narrowest part. It is the narrowest part here. That is true.
Yes.
Where would you put the archers? 'Cause that's what
Archers
I'm
could be
thinking.
here. Hold on, let me. Archers could be up here, hidden more towards the edge. They could be here, and they could be over here.
Are those actually those places? Are they climbable by my?
They're
by
really,
my
really
dwarves?
steep.
They
Yeah.
are climbable. They are 40. Some of them are like 20 feet in the air, 40 feet in the air.
Yeah, but those are like steep columns, aren't they?
Those
You
are
have-
steep columns.
You have the time now to get your guys up there.
Okay.
During a
Let-
fight, you can't, but
No.
now we can.
So this is a good place to put the dwarves, I would say.
But what I was thinking is, like, if we have this, we can either funnel them where the blue line is now, or where Dwarf just mentioned. But in either case, we can cover whatever ditch we create with tarps, make it invisible, make them not see it, put our main infantry behind it so that it looks like they're an easy target, and then have missile fire in this kill zone, make this the kill zone right here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm recommending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes complete sense.
So this earthwork here, move it.
Yes, to a little bit further south. So from here to here, something like that. We want the steepest, the highest walls, because
Yeah.
these are 10 feet each. So
These are only 10 feet each, but we can build the small. Like I said, we could probably get something small structure, something built here.
Yeah,
to
if
keep it.
you make a wall there and that down there, you actually use also the height of that terrain on top of the wall to actually create a more or less impossible height for them.
Which was the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this blue one here, this is a concealed.
Yeah, and we're gonna put the Minotaurs behind it with their spears.
Okay.
and
I
then
was
on
going to
top,
say the gladiators ambushing could be quite handy, like them
Yeah.
coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
yeah. So they could be hidden over here, and only once they're in the kill zone do they realize that they're there, and then they run over and jump on top of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're not stealthy, but if they're just stood out of sight, that could be quite
Yeah,
handy.
they're just flat up against that rock face.
Yeah, exactly. And then
What about
when
having them up here?
whoever it is who gives the command, they can run out and then or up there.
Yeah.
From the rear.
No oil on the gladiators. We don't want the sun hitting them and giving way in their positions.
Oh, it's flex time, boys. Let's go.
They're like, let's go. And all of a sudden it's like, gladiators over here.
The problem if you put the gladiators up there is that they're going to be vulnerable
Yes.
to assault.
They're flanked. They're completely surrounded if they're up there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we have to keep them down here.
Yes, you have to keep them with the main force.
We need to put the Enixes somewhere where their range is in best use for this kill box.
I would say I would hide them behind the wall here. I can't ping for some reason. I don't
Yeah,
know
we
why.
can't select the Enixes.
Yeah, there, exactly there. Yeah, where I'm pinging. You saw that?
Do you think this is alright
Yeah.
for the gladiators here?
Put them out of sight. Then at the moment they look like I'm going to be a little bit further out of sight so that you don't see them.
I would put them
In
all
here?
down here.
Yeah,
Like that?
yeah, perfect.
Cool.
And then we said we're moving archers.
And we also want to have a some kind of wall. Sorry, some kind of a wall over here.
Should I stand like with the gladiators over here? Or should I be in the main group with you guys?
I think you and Ra should probably be in.
The gladiators.
The gladiator boys.
Okay.
So look, if you guys are going to make an attack against, say, Salavar, then you probably want to have your individual characters involved in that.
Yeah.
Simply because you have seen already what happens if an individual character comes into close combat with a large group like this. You saw it with the Gith.
Yeah.
You will make a difference against them, but you're facing 30, 40, 50 people here.
So maybe we should be back here then.
Yeah, because the thing is, Salavar is probably going to be in the back of his vanguard, so we'll need to be hidden, say up here, or be able to move around the battlefield freely. So we can be hiding with the Enixes and then move along this ridge here.
Yeah.
Into a position, because that gives us access to this whole upper ridge here, all the way up to here. And if we're invisible, as Portek will prepare.
That's Katie, I think. Can you get the door? Sorry.
All right, since I'm going to be doing Salavar related things, I just
Hold
took
on, I'll
myself
get
off the
it.
map.
You're doing Salavar related things?
We're going to have to go after him individually, so we're probably not going to be part of the this grand battle.
Okay, so do I need to put any further earthworks or what have you on the map here for you guys?
Yes, there's one wall we're going to
That's the
create
wall.
over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, you forgot about the 5,000 men that I just randomly found who are willing to fight, who are all like really high level.
Okay.
Yeah, I love those guys.
They're my favorite guys.
The army of the dead, yes.
Yeah,
So
you
like
put,
along here?
you put
Yeah,
them, put them everywhere.
Just basically along the top of that 10-foot wall, yeah, and make it look like it's natural, like it's not,
So what is that? That's a wall, yeah?
Yeah, a wall. So there's
That's
it's 10
increased to
feet
20
plus,
height. Yeah.
so that's more height to hide behind, and it doesn't need to be super tall. It's just to give us a bit of cover
It's
fire,
concealment. Yeah, gotcha.
concealment, and cover from missile fire.
Yep.
Yeah, and it.
So
and
is-
it
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, is anybody else actually going after the stone? This is our diversion, so that we can get behind and get in against Salavar to get the stone. Is anybody going with Tin, or is it just Tin?
We will be going with you after we've arranged this, I would say.
Oh, okay. No, I just saw everybody's icons on this map.
Where are we putting the Templars, by the way?
That's exactly what we need to figure out. I would say there's a little gap here. I don't know whether that's pinging.
No,
it's not.
you have to hold it, not.
There it's pinging. There it is. It's very delayed, my ping. Unbelievably delayed.
So you mean we put them up here?
Well, yeah. There's a little gap there, and we have the other 4 guys. We put them behind the earth wall, I would say. So the tradesmen, they can fight from there, behind the wall.
Okay, they don't have any ranged weapons.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the greatest idea. We should put them over here behind this 10-foot alcove. In case they need to.
They don't need anything.
That way they can. Yeah, but that way they can support the Minthor troops if they start to falter.
Well, the thing is, what you want, they don't need to have ranged troops. They need to make sure that nobody gets over this earth wall which we just built. And the ranged troops we have on the mountains just beside it. Those are the dwarves up on the.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the gladiators are already up here. So what benefit does having these guys up here? They won't be able to support anybody from there.
Yeah, they should be.
They need to be on the ground. If we put them behind the Templars or behind this 10-foot high alcove, then at least they're hidden and they can be reserves.
I would actually rather put the gladiators in a support reserve of the Minthors, or actually as a support reserves of them, because they're strong and all the other troops are not. These guys are really weak. The Minthors are strong and our gladiators are strong.
But the gladiators can jump in from above, is the idea.
Yeah. From where? From where?
Them jumping in over the wall.
Over the wall. They come in over the wall.
Oh, okay.
And then attack there.
Fair enough. Don't think too much of a support from these other guys here. Eh?
No, but they're literally just backup in case that Minthor line starts to falter. They can help.
I suppose
replenish some numbers.
Yeah,
they can pick up weapons that they drop and
yeah, they're one-hit wonders.
At present, everybody except the Minthors and the Templars is hidden. The gladiators are hidden. The craftsmen are hidden. Your dwarves are presumably lying flat on the rocks up top with their crossbows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. The last thing, the Enixes are hidden. Now, your character icons. Put those to what would be their starting positions, please.
We need to get behind, don't we? So
we need to have the Tic-Tac strike team in position, I would say.
Yeah. The best thing for that would be to be somewhere where the so I would put us. If we're invisible anyway, I can just put me behind the Templars.
Okay. Actually, maybe it is a better idea just to put you over there, so you can actually strike from behind when their big army goes past.
Like here?
Yeah. You'll be invisible. Yeah. They won't see you, and they will only see you when it's too late. And you can, after you've done your damage, you can jump the hell out of there. You're much faster than they are anyway.
No, fair enough. But we won't know. You won't be able to relay any messages to me once I'm out there. So.
This is where
if you leave me here, I can make that run pretty quickly, invisibly. Okay, this is rocky terrain, right?
I have only 3 invisibility spells.
Yeah.
I cannot cast anymore.
Okay.
So either I cast them all 3 on you guys, so you actually can move individually, or you have to hold hands while you move, and I'm sure you'll go slower. See what I mean? So if you have only one group who's invisible, and that's you guys, then I use all my 3 invisibility spells. If we have more people going in invisible, then you need to make do with 1 invisibility spell. That's what I'm trying to say. And then maybe a long stretch of movement is not a wise idea.
Okay, well then you have to make sure that everything you want to tell us is signals that you're going to have.
Yeah.
You tell us beforehand so that we know what to do when you give the signal.
Well, this is under the supposition that the Tin made, is that we actually attack the Salavar directly. Yeah.
Okay. So I've got Ra in there with the gladiators, Bengal. Are you going to be with Ra, or are you going to be out in the field there where you are at present?
I'm not sure whether or not to be with the gladiators or not, because a part of me is like, yeah, I do, but at the same time, like, I don't know how I'm gonna fare in combat with, like, you know, obviously the 20 other people.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So at the moment, I'm just concerned about your starting position. So
I think I'm gonna stick here.
okay, right. Matthias and Portek then. I can't
Um,
even see him. Where is he?
Matthias, I would like you to consider being close to the Templars. Certainly that they don't do something weird with Gyrias in command there. At least at the starting point.
Okay, then I'll ask, where do you want me? Because I'm not going to try to infiltrate Salvar from behind during the diversion by myself.
No.
If we're going to go that, then it'll be 2 of us, surely.
Where's your icon, dwarf? I can't see him on the map.
I removed it because he would not have been on the open field.
He was hiding.
He would not have been in the open field ready to engage because he would have been moving behind to take advantage of a diversion.
But
it looks like we may not have a diversion. I think we're
Okay,
Portek, where are you?
Portek is going to be here, so he can make himself be seen. Both to the archers on the hills, to the gladiators, to the Enixes behind the rock,
Yes.
and command the army, as it were.
Tin's just going to take up position with the gladiators to provide cover fire, since their biggest weakness is other people with arrows.
Yes.
He'll be there to cover them.
So, or maybe you want to actually go with Matthias together with Tik Tik and do a concerted attack with them. I don't know.
No. Matthias is able to disappear quite readily. I'm not as good as him, which means I'll be standing out there quite often.
Unless do you want your boots back?
No, they're not going to help me do
Besides,
anything.
you're one of our best archers. We need you on high ground.
He is if you look,
sniping.
Yeah. He is. He's up high. Yeah.
He is up high, but you know he's picking his targets.
Okay.
I'll be up here. I'll be taking shots. I'll be doing what I should be doing.
Is his view of the top of the canyon here? Is it blocked by this tower, where the other dwarf?
I can stand. Okay, I'll stand
a bit.
then.
One, two.
He'll be here.
Yeah, that's the best spot. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So over the course of the next couple of hours, you have the craftsmen building their earthworks, concealing at least one of them on the canyon floor, then retreating. Tik Tik, you take your 2 queen companions up to a high alcove, hide there. The dwarven archers are fairly soon positioned in overlooked spots on the surrounding canyon walls, and the Minthor troops set up themselves as bait. Matthias, almost immediately, you have trouble with Gyrias. He's walking up and down the Templar ranks and the Minthor ranks. Now, men, as soon as we see the enemy round the corner of that canyon, I will give the order. We will shout a red-blooded cheer for Tyr, and we will charge. Understood?
Portek's standing next to me already. He's standing next to me as well. So
Yeah.
I looked at Portek. Really?
No, that's not what we're going to be doing, and you need to make that clear to him.
I'm like, you're standing next to me. Why don't you tell him?
Because you'll have more influence over them.
I'm just going to kill him now.
I want you men to be at the forefront. You'll give your best, most blood-curdling screams as we draw near to them.
Gyrias?
Strike fear into the...
Gyrias.
Yes.
Please.
As you are. Yes, what is it, Portek? I'm busy talking to the men.
Yes, but we're not going to charge.
What?
We're luring them in their cavalry into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Surely you can see what we're doing here. You see this defense line which we've covered.
Oh, I see. You've got something concealed on the floor there.
Yes.
Oh, that's quite ingenious.
Mm-hmm. But then we cannot charge because we need them to come over here, don't we?
No, of course, no. We have to bide our time. Yes.
Yes.
Men,
Look
can
at
I change
Gareth.
Can I trust you to follow my lead in this?
Oh,
I
yes, of course. Of course.
I will give a direct command in when we engage. We let them strike us.
Yes.
We lure their cavalry into the trap, and then we hit.
Yes.
On my command.
Absolute confidence. On your command. Absolutely.
I look to, obviously, Garrus, open a small pouch and start fumbling some small vials that clearly look like deadly poison.
Curious looks at you, looks down at the pouch. Anyway, a change of plans, men. Well, we're going to wait for word from Commander Portek here. And he kind of hurries over to his men and looks back over his shoulder a little bit, concerned at your pouch. Ra and Mangal, you're down with the gladiators, and they're already like, yeah.
Flex.
Except for Wenzer, actually. He's seated, kind of hands on his knees, chewing at his thumb, idly swinging his impaler back and forward.
You okay?
I don't know how to say this. I'm afraid. Wenzer afraid. I mean, me, Wenzer, afraid.
Hey, I've been there before. I know how you're feeling.
You've done this before? I've never done this. Look, man on man, or man on woman, man on elf, man on dwarf, man on Chazals, two Chazals, man on dwarf on Kank with spear. Oh, fine, no problem. But this?
Just take it one at a time.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a bunch, but remember there's a bunch of us.
Yeah, one at a time.
Think of it this way. When you're in the arena, you're doing it one-on-one. This is like that. Take a steady pace.
And
yeah, right.
Once they arrive, your fear will become your drive to get out there and fight. What you're feeling right now is what will save your life.
Yeah, maybe it will. Yeah, like lots of little arena fights, one after the other.
Yep.
With no break at all. No, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah.
You just start flexing at each other.
Yeah.
Does he pull a pec muscle?
He bursts a vein.
Ra comes running back over to Portek. All the gladiators, they've all pulled muscles stretching.
Healers! So Portek also needs to cast some spells before we start.
You also, Bagal, you also notice at the edge of the gladiator group, Canla and Takandral are just standing having a quiet moment, a quiet embrace. But as they separate, you can see that both of their cheeks are wet with tears. Canla smiles in your direction. Takandral says if we get out of this, that we should be married. I didn't, I wish Lissam was here.
I'm sure they wish that they were here too.
Yeah. She looks down at you. I'm glad you're here. You and Ra both. You've You've shown us. She jerks her thumb back to the other gladiators. You've shown all of us you've shown us hope.
It's
Thank
the
you.
only thing that we really have. For now, at least. But you guys seem happy.
We have a life after the battle to look forward to. Now, she looks over to Candrael. The elf just shrugs and smiles, and you can see him trying to wipe his tears away before any of you fragile humans notice. Portek, you mentioned something about casting spells.
Yeah. I need to be with Tik Tik and his people. They need to be invisible.
Yep.
And I will actually enchant 6. No, that's what I'm saying. That I will enchant 3 bolts of our ballista with the charge spell. Full bolts, the whole bolt.
Okay. Right. So the bolts, 1 in each ballista.
Yeah. So the
So
first shot has
bolts to be fired.
Yeah, and I will give clear instructions not to touch the bolts once I've enchanted the metal.
Okay, good. And so Tik Tik, you and your so that's 3 uses of the charge spell.
Yeah, and 3 uses.
And 3 uses of invisibility.
Yes.
And are these all done preserving?
Yes.
Okay. Just one moment, please. So, your location is Rocky Badlands. Infertile, that's 1 caster level lower. So it's plus 10 damage on the charge.
Okay.
As opposed to plus 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you want to defile, of course.
No.
No, you sure?
Yeah, absolutely sure. Yes.
Yeah, okay, just checking.
Yeah, no, okay.
Might be a good time.
For you, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah.
To have some fun. No.
You know you want to. Go on.
And then the waiting.
We have some elven scouts hidden ahead to give us early notice of their advance.
Right, well, the elven scouts. One comes running down the defile towards you. He looks really, really quite concerned. Comes racing through the camp straight to find you, Portek.
Mm-hmm.
They are approaching. They come down the canyon even now. But Commander, there is something else.
What?
We found a body
Where? What body?
just around the corner of the canyon.
Hmm.
It was Fanon. Fanon, the warrior of the Juradai.
Oh?
Yes. We found him face down and dead, with 2 elven arrows in his back.
Elven arrows.
Yes. We think he was running.
Oh dear.
Then comes the sound. At first, a low rumbling, a rattling, a hiss, a murmur. Voices, footfalls echoed off the canyon walls, reverberated, resonating and rolling down towards you. And then at a steady march, the Urikite forces come into view. And I will just pull them up so you can see them.
Jeez.
Damn, they just appeared there.
How are they doing that?
Oh, there's my 5,000 men.
Just quickly up front, Kank cavalry. Behind here, halflings, and over here, halfling slingers coming along the flanks. Here, the human infantry, and at the very back, the command staff. And you see a couple of armored figures, a handful of half giants, and behind them a wagon train, supplies, and the actual camp itself, tents bundled up on the backs of the Nixies, but none of them combatant, and therefore so not appearing on the map this day. As the force, almost some 300 strong, winds its way through the canyon, Portek, Tin, just on your left, you can actually see the Mintho troops take a couple of steps back, and the front line begins to break. They look toward Vorderman, who is, hold the line, men, hold the line. Don't forget, we have the pit in front of us.
I cast a bless on the Minter troops.
Okay, and this is to affect their morale, is it?
Yes.
Okay, I will just bounce that level for you.
I'm up the front with them as well, which means they don't get any minuses to morale.
And if
Okay.
after those two, anybody's still moving backwards, I'm going to send an arrow behind them, letting them know don't go any further back or you will die.
All right, Matthias, are you actually saying anything to them, or are you just by your physical presence? You can actually see from among them the Mintho troops looking in your direction, but those citizen volunteers who were assigned to work alongside them, almost all of them are like looking up towards you with naked expressions of fear on their face.
I smile and loosen the whips and start cracking them about, and I say, "This is a good day, gentlemen. You should be proud of yourselves. Stay strong." And we'll move to the front.
They try to nod encouragement at each other. It is, of course, difficult to remain fearless in the face of a massed rank of Kank cavalry. Their chitin glistens black in the early dawn light, and as they round the bend and see your group, the lances lower, and you can hear the commanders of the Kank cavalry giving the order, "Prepare for charge! Enemy sighted!" And I want one of you, please, to roll me a d10 for initiative. The enemy
I did it last time and was bad. Somebody else.
the enemy
Nice.
2.
I got a 3.
You guys got a 3 for you guys. All right. Right, they have initiative. They are going to make a decision on who gets to move first, and it is going to be the cavalry who are going to take first movement.
I'm assuming
First thing they
we
have-
the Minter is allowed to brace for.
Charge, yeah.
I would imagine that's what they're doing. Yes.
Yes,
The first thing that they do, of course, is to prepare for charge, which requires a morale check, which they immediately pass. You can see the commander riding up and down the front. "Lances ready, you there! Lower, lean into your saddle!" He kind of wheels his Kank around, couches his own lance. "For the lion!" Ah! And then the cavalry breaks into a charge. Comes thundering down the battlefield and gets to there before they hit your trap. The ground, quite simply, gives way beneath their feet. The charge halts completely. The entire group is has its charge broken. Their formation goes from regular to irregular. And the two at the front, furthermore, take damage. That's 5 in total, which is a single hit on the cavalry. Okay, pencil go. Right, that's not enough for the cavalry to lose any actual individuals. Although you can see people are falling and pitching left and right from their mounts as the mounts crash into the earthworks, and their charge is completely broken. Single hit of damage dealt there as the foremost riders come loose from their mounts and go sprawling into the ground. You can hear limbs snap, see the Kang's legs flailing left and right as the charge has been quite convincingly broken there. They're not going anywhere right now. Behind them, however, seeing what's going on, these halfling slingers move into position. Not you. You go back there, please. Rush into that position, having obviously not seen anyone else around, and unleash a hurling volley of sling stones that arc high overhead and then come slamming down toward the Mintho troops. Halfling slingers, 5 figures. That's 5d6. 1, 2, 6, 11, 15. Okay. Right. Can you? Actually, I'll just do it on the side here. Okay, the armor rating of your Mintho troops is a mighty 8.
2
but
saves.
That's only 2, unfortunately.
Yes.
Okay. The sling stones flail down from above in a furious rain. 3 hits damage in total after the soaking. And first blood is shed as the first of the Mintho and civilian troops fall from a rain of slings, slamming down onto their group from above. The rest of their forces advance cautiously down the valley. Okay, any movement from you guys?
I'd say we should kill their slingers.
Just
Yes.
movement first. Any
Yeah.
movement from you guys first?
Okay.
Movement, right?
Yes.
I suggest we bring forth the Inixes so they can start lobbing things.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and position them where you want to.
What's the range for them?
15
11.
squares.
Yes.
Was it 11 squares?
11 squares is short range.
Okay.
So we just put them straight behind our defensive lines. So give them as much range as we can, and we make them shoot over our troops.
Okay, so that's them. So you move them to there for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Gotcha. Any other movement from you guys?
I
Nope.
think
Okay.
we're waiting, like orders
Holding.
to when we to when we go out. So
Well,
holding now.
we want to get more troops into our trap. Those troops, those enemy troops, the halflings and their regular infantry, are still just outside of our trap, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Shall we try and lure them? Try and like us gladiators? Like, should we goad them into trying to come through here?
No.
That will keep them away. That's the thing. So I think
No, that wall is there to keep you hidden.
yeah.
Okay.
I think we need to wait it out for one turn. We need to hold, basically.
Well, I mean, the gladiators can move up to the wall. They'd
Yeah.
still be protected by the wall.
Yeah, as long as they're not seen, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Range.
I'm still signaling hold for everybody.
Okay. Portek, any spells from you?
Yes, actually, that's not a bad idea. I will cast an earth spell on those Kank riders here in front of us. Create a pit hole there. So there. It's a little bit late in reacting. It should. I'm not seeing a ping. Yeah, there it is.
You want to put a pit there in the middle of that?
Well, in the middle of them, to catch as many as I can.
It'll fill one square because it's 20 feet across.
Okay, so I will fill a square in the middle of them.
There.
So yeah.
Okay.
So that
holds that. Yeah. So there's no movement for them. Okay. Right. Nice. The spell goes off, and you can see the ground giving away beneath the middle of the Kank cavalry, and again, bodies falling in, Kank's limbs flailing about the place, and it is enough to. Excuse me. The additional hit that you did earlier on. It rids you of finally a figure of Kank attackers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Melee combat. At present, the only people able to do melee are the front three of your infantry.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me 3d6, please. If you want, I can just pop it out right now.
Yeah. There you go. It's rolling. 14.
Okay, nice. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, attempts to save from there. Armor rating 8. Fail. And that 14 is 4 hits. The Minthra troops, now emboldened, step forward, and the Kank warriors, cavalry who are in front of them, they work assiduously to hew them down, hacking overhand, stabbing down to the ones in the pit, and you can already see the entire rank of the cavalry has been thoroughly broken. Right, missile fire from anyone who hasn't shot yet, which I guess is your dwarves.
They are not giving away their position yet. We want to lure in those other 2 infantry troops.
Okay.
The halflings and the.
So
we
none.
want to lure them in. Yeah, not yet. No, we're holding.
What about the
What
Enixes?
about the Enixes?
Oh yeah, sorry, the Enixes. Yeah, they can shoot, of course. They can only shoot at 1 stack, at 1 unit.
Yeah, treat each individual NX as firing at 1 unit.
Okay, well let's
Slingers.
try to take the let's let them shoot at the halflings.
Slingers, yeah.
Yeah.
The slingers. Okay, each NX is D12. So roll me a D12 for each NX, please.
Yeah.
That's 1d12.
Do it 1 by 1, right?
You can
Yeah, for each one, please.
Yeah.
11. Nice.
Get another 11.
Yeah, roll higher.
Oh,
Nice. Still good.
Almost
So
a 12.
almost a 12.
Okay, 6, 8, and an 11. That's a 2, and a 3. Okay.
Is this with the magical bolts on as well?
Oh yeah, doesn't it have the magical
Yes, they do.
things?
All right. The electrical charge bolts streak across the battlefield and strike home against the halfling slingers. The ballista bolts wreak absolute havoc upon their ranks, tearing through multiple bodies, dropping small, tiny, twitching electrified forms, wiping out almost half of their entire force with a steady salvo of follow-up bolts. So, end of round. That's Morale for the halfling slingers. They pass. Morale for the cat. I can't believe they do. Morale for the cat cavalry. That's a pass as well. They are emboldened by the presence of their fellow warriors behind and decide to stand ground. From the Minthor troops goes up a rousing roar as they realize they have struck once again first blood in the battle. Okay. Initiative, please. Just a single D10.
And
I
Ra,
got 3.
waiting for Ra to roll. Well done, 5.
5. Okay. These guys have initiative again. The cavalry, their charge broken. They take a moment to reform their ranks, spending their move action on doing that. Okay. These slingers rush into position here and try to take out one of the Inixes. Halfling slingers, 2d6. Good luck. Oh, 11. That's not bad, actually. Seeing the incoming volley of small stones, you can see the Inix commanders trying to get their animals safe and out of sight. Unfortunately, not with a roll like that. And yeah, that's 3 hits, which I believe is... Oh no, not enough. Okay. So, one of the Inixes is pretty badly hurt from that. From the flurry of attacks leveled against it. Wounds across its snout, wounds across its body, but nevertheless remains alive. Yep. Okay. The halfling scouts move up to here, spend their movement clambering their way up the side of the defile, obviously trying to get a position where they can press forward. And the human infantry move in tight behind the Kank cavalry. The command group, these guys up here, advance ever so slightly down the canyon, and one of them, he kind of steps forward to this position here. Actually, no.
Hey, look,
wait.
what does that individual look like?
Tick Tick, you don't have line of sight on him from where you are.
What does he look like?
3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, we're gonna
I
move
got you.
I'm going to move him to here. Tin, yeah, you spot him. He's the guy you shot multiple times in your tent the previous night. He's come scurrying out from the command position, tight in behind the enemy lines here. Right? Any movement from you guys?
Yes, for
Now
sure.
see him.
What's it going to be?
Movement only, right?
Movement, yeah, movement first, please.
No, there's no movement as such. No.
Unless
Do you want me to move in?
No communicating, please. You're on the far side of the battlefield.
Oh.
Can I have any spell casting from you guys?
Briefly, your instructions are to
No! You're on the far side of the battlefield. Behave, or I will smite you with a swarm of Braxats. Any spell casting?
do it.
Do we see that guy at the back or not?
No, you can't make him out.
Okay, so I'm not aware of his presence.
You're aware of people running around back there.
Yeah. Yeah, I will throw another pit at at this one here of the Kanks, because those pits, they're still there, so they have to kind of maneuver around them.
So are you saying here?
That one, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know when my ping is coming in, but
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so another pit, and again the Kanks are hissing and clacking, their riders shouting and swearing. having been completely unprepared for this level of interference, the spellcaster at the back snaps some words of magic and fades from sight. Right, nobody currently is in melee range, so there's no melee combat going on. Any missile fire?
Oh, yes. Those two halflings, they get it from our Enixes.
From the Enixes?
Yep.
Okay, roll again.
So that was 3d12, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's a quicker way of doing this.
Yeah, there is. Just use the drop down on the side.
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool.
Exactly the same roll as what Bengal just did.
Yes, a smooth bingle bangle. This is more than enough to utterly decimate the remaining poor halfling slingers. Their tiny voices rise in horror and fear as the heavy ballista bolts punch clear through their bodies. Their unit is completely decimated. Initiative.
We have still dwarven archers, which we're now going to use.
Dwarven archers. Yeah, it's up to you.
Because they're now in range.
So, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Let's fire away.
Can we keep the one initiative for next round, though? Is that possible?
She was rolling initiative because she thought we were done.
Sorry, I've got it noted. Right, dwarven archers. Which group against who? These five on this side.
Yeah, actually, both archers are going to be shooting at the infantry at the back.
Okay.
Where's that guy?
He disappeared.
Went invisible.
Okay.
Or something.
Invisible.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So from the dwarven archers, it is a 9d6. So just
Type it in. Roll 9d6.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
done.
And they're firing at who, Portek?
Oh.
Who rolled that?
That was me.
Ah.
Right. Okay. And against the infantry.
Yeah.
So there are 10 of those.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how these calculations work, but
You don't need to.
cool.
Tin will not be firing yet because he knows Salavar's looking for him.
Yep.
Not good to reveal your hand too early.
Oh, they have 8, right? So that's not good. It's
That's
really not good.
Pretty decent. Yeah, no, the infantry have armor rating 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits.
Ooh.
All right, no, that is enough to weather your solid assault from the archers up above. As soon as they pop up and start firing, a shout goes up, and it is just because they're perhaps slightly better trained than the dwarven militia. They drop shields over their heads, and the crossbow bolts hammer all across the shields. You see a couple of people hit, crossbow bolts glancing off their thighs and what have you, but no men go down, and your positions are revealed. Word goes up, shouting, "Archers on the cliffs! Archers on the cliffs! Ambush! Ambush!" Okay, initiative 1. You guys get to choose. Who moves first, you or them?
I would say this is us to move first.
Okay.
Right.
And don't forget, you have your individual characters still on the field. This doesn't all have to be at the battle level. If you guys want to take control of your guys and zoom into something on an individual level, just make it so.
I'm waiting for kind of the yell of our commanders for us to charge in.
I think this is that moment. I think gladiators in and actually Minthor troops forward.
Gladiators on the move. Okay. Are
Gladiators
we able to jump over that
assemble.
ditch, or should we?
So you can move. No, the gladiators could get over that and into combat immediately.
Yeah.
Like that, maybe?
Yeah.
Yep. So they're going to go in against.
Wait! Don't.
Hold on, please.
Yeah.
Are they going against the cavalry or the infantry at the back?
Should we-
I don't think we can. I think we can send like 2 people to the infantry at the back, but otherwise it'll have to be cavalry because that's what's directly.
Yeah,
That's the only thing
in front of
available to
us.
us.
Okay, so the way you're positioned there, that's everybody can attack against the cavalry. Okay, so for the gladiators, please, could you roll me? It's D8, I believe, for them.
Wait,
How
those
many?
the Mentor troops, those are
How many
pits, right?
D8?
Yeah, you can't stand in the pit. You don't
4d8 for the gladiators, please. I'll get to the Mentor troops in a second.
15.
15. Nice.
Or 22.
22.
Wink.
22 was the first one rolled.
22. Yes, we'll go with the first one.
Yes, let's.
Mine looks like it's first on my screen.
Okay, and these guys have armor rating 8, which is only 1 hit against them. 22, that's 3 more. Okay, and now the gladiators come into their own. They've already taken a spare hit, so that's a total of 4. Leaping and cavorting down the cliffside, quite simply over the wall. They appear from out of nowhere. The Kank riders are looking come utter horror as the cream of Tyrian youth vaults the wall. I mean, it's a beautiful sight. Windsor is up front. He vaults over on one hand, and as he goes over, he's like, this way. And his pecs ripple, eyes gleam in the morning light. Just at that moment, the sun crests the horizon, and you see him and his companions, in defiance of orders, have oiled themselves to glistening perfection. Skid over the side of the defile and down and straight into the cavalry, tearing them apart, running underneath Kanks, stabbing upward at riders. Used to formation combat, they're completely unprepared for the sudden appearance of a wild mass of gladiators. Bagal and Ra, if you guys are participating in this, you guys can each roll me a d12.
Do it.
Sorry, a d10 for Bagal and a d12 for Ra.
Fine then. I got a 10. Is that good?
That's
10
better
and a,
anyway.
10 and a 9. Okay, yeah, it is better. 2 and 3. Okay, and together, in true min-max fashion, you bring down yet another one of the Kank riders. What was supposed to be a devastating charge has fallen apart completely. There's only a handful left.
Fucking
and
losers.
They will absolutely be
Suck.
having a seriously penalized morale check at the end of this. Right. Any further movement from anyone else on your team?
You're
You're
Tic Tac
muted.
is invisible, right?
Yes.
I'm going to move the guys here so that I can have a better view of the command group.
Yeah. Okay. So you see that it appears to be a Templar and or Templar or warrior. You're not sure which, and 3 heavily built half giant guards.
Any sign of salivating? Salivar?
You don't know what Salavar looks like, so
Well,
Who knows?
okay, fair enough.
okay.
I will hold.
I imagine if he was going up front, we probably would have described what he looked like, right?
Yeah. None of you has actually seen Salavar.
Oh,
I have.
Actually, no. You guys have. Yes. Yeah, you have.
Have we?
So based on their descriptions, that's probably him there in the middle.
he was
Yeah.
our master's husband.
He was your
Oh,
master's
just
husband, so
he.
you
We
absolutely.
were
right.
bought by him.
I definitely know
Um,
what this guy looks like.
You
I
have
was
seen him at
gonna
brunches
say-
and everything. Yeah. So.
At
Now that we
brunch.
killed the cavalry, can we assume that like the gladiators can move up like this, or should we move them like that?
Yes, that's perfectly fine.
Like, but I'm asking, like, Brian's something that. You
Oh
think-
yeah. That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah.
'cause we just kind of want to cut into them, really.
Are our
Yeah,
Menthana
I'm
troops not moving?
Yeah, they're going to be moving after you've done the gladiators. That's what one by one
Okay,
you do it.
yeah. All right. So give me some movement then on the Minthos, please.
Yeah, they move on. They're going to stay out of the pits.
Can they attack across the pit?
No.
So they have to move further up.
Well, they can. How far can they move anyway?
The movement rate is 12 squares.
Oh god. Okay.
Just send them up the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Flank the hell out of these guys.
Well, we have also need to bear in mind that we have.
We're not having big tactical discussions. I just want to know what your movements are.
Okay, so this is what the Minotaurs are going to be doing, like this. Is that possible?
Yeah, so I count 1, 2, 3, 4. They're able to attack.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you please give me 46?
Yep.
Okay, there it is. There you go.
It's 10.
Okay, 10.
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 hits. Okay, oh. All right. Another one of the Kank Riders, another set of the Kank Riders are decimated by your furious, hurtling attacks from the Minotaur troops. Okay, and then we have movement from the enemy. Unless anyone else. Unless
Yeah, we
anyone
want
comes from
to
you.
move the Templars up as well.
Okay, go ahead.
We want to move them against scouts here.
2 against 10.
Yes, absolutely. They're twice as strong as the scouts. Scouts are going to be one-hit wonders, so they have much more durability, and we need to block whatever they're going to bring.
Okay.
Do we have missile fire this round?
At the end of the round.
Oh, it's the end of the round. Okay.
So we attack the scouts here.
Okay. Right. Can you make me rolls for that, please? That's going to be Templars 2d6.
Oh, nice. Nice roll.
Okay. Oh, and no. All right. The Templars crush the first ranks of the Halfling Scouts. The ranks rapidly fill around them, though, as the diminutive Scouts swarm in to surround the Templars.
They're going to eat good.
They are going to eat really well tonight, and I will roll their attacks in just a second, because similarly over here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those troops able to attack. So with the gladiators having swarmed into their ranks, the Urik ground troops ready their shields and begin a solid counterattack. Infantry, AD6, 4 of them. 6, 12, 13, 17. Okay, that's going to be 4 hits. Can I have 4 d10 rolls, please? In fact, I'll roll them for you. I will just speed this up a little bit. The gladiators do their best to withstand the attacks of the enemy troops. Armor rating 9, that's only a single, so they're going to take 3 hits, which is 1. And the first of the gladiators begin to fall. A dozen of them are cut down almost immediately by these solid, well-disciplined responses of the Urikite troops. Now they have the measure of your fighting style. Their more rigid training begins to play in their favor. And the small group of gladiators, you're now backed against the canyon wall as Urikite troops begin a shield, stab, advance, shield, stab, advance, pinning you back and back. And you're looking to left and right, Bagal, and Ra. You can see Canla and Takandrel fighting back to back. You can see Wenza quite literally with his back to the wall, just, come at me, little man. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attacks from the Halfling Scouts. The Templars look around them in shock and horror, and you can see in amongst the black cassocks, there's Girius, somehow caught in the middle of the melee, staring around himself in utter terror as 80 halfling warriors swarm in like a pack of mad locusts upon the Templar group. Yeah, that's easily going to be the full 4. It is a massacre.
Told ya.
The Templars are torn limb from limb, and you can even see several of the halflings pausing in their fights to stoop and begin to devour the bodies of their enemies while they're still alive.
Gross.
You are sure that you hear Girias's high-pitched, panicked voice rising over the height of it. Help! Help! Bartek! Bartek! Tin! Save me! Save me, please! Ah!
Tim laughs.
Well, you know what? He's dead now, so that's a shame.
So, yeah, nothing can be done about it now. Okay, do we have any spellfire from you guys?
Yes.
What's it going to be?
There's going to be yet another pit.
Okay, and where is this one going to be?
This one is going to be right here.
You need to hold it, not just click it. There we go. Okay.
That is it. Right.
That's why it wasn't working.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one there. Right. Now a third pit opens beneath the Urikite cavalry. Their chance to charge is well and truly over.
I have a question about these pits. Are we allowed to step on them, or are they just like a no-go zone for that
You
square?
can step on them, but it slows you down.
Right, okay,
You
because
lose 4 points of
it's
movement.
kind of all of these. While I admit having pits like this is pretty good, but it's kind of
You're
becoming
kind of getting stuck there.
inconvenient. So yeah, I'm not close enough to any of the enemy to do melee now, am I?
Yes, you are. You can move. It slows you down, but not to the extent that you can't fight. Don't forget, you have a 12 square movement.
Okay, so the sorcerer wizard Defiler reappears here in the process of casting a spell. There is a brief flash of golden flames in amongst his hands, and then a P-shaped dart streaks outward and explodes right here in a fireball.
Where? I didn't see the ping.
There.
I think you're pinging on your layer because we're not seeing it.
Yeah, we're not seeing anything.
Stupid layers.
It's
There, yeah.
okay. I think we'll all
Yeah,
be
it's right there.
surprised together. It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Okay. That's going to be 22. That's a good one.
Wish our wizard knew fireball.
Yeah, your wizard sucks. He doesn't know any of that stuff. It is a devastating attack. It wipes out fully half of the Minthur troops.
Good
Vorderman
lord.
is among those who survive, but the rest are just, explosion. There's bodies pinwheeling everywhere. The camera shows the explosion from 3 or 4 different angles. Bodies slamming down, leaving trails of smoke across the sky. Utter shock and an immediate morale check for the Minthur troops. 16. That's a fail. Yes. Right. The Minthur troops panic, having been subjected to a sudden blast of spellfire, and are compelled to do an immediate 1, 2, 3, 4 flee back to there. These guys flee back to there, and as they flee, by the way, they are subjected to 3 attacks from 3 other
Moved
figures.
to the pit.
What?
You
You've
moved the
moved
pit.
You move.
What, the blue one?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're carrying it with them, apparently.
Well,
Yeah,
sometimes you just gotta take
Gotta
it
need it.
near you.
You need a pit.
Can I put it back?
Yes, you should be able to click on it.
I don't know if anyone else has seen Parks and Rec, but I just keep hearing the song of like, I fell in the pit.
Can we recruit the other wizard? I mean, he sounds
Okay.
pretty useful.
In their flight, some of the stragglers are cut down. And so the Minthur troops, their
Don't exist anymore.
brief moment of victory have been pretty badly broken.
Okay.
Okay. Any final missile fire from you guys?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I suggest that we focus our Inix fire on the wizard. Anybody object?
We can't object. We're not near you.
Yeah,
You
we
are the
can't
commander.
object.
Just
It's
do what you're gonna
literally-
do.
No,
There's no communications between you unless you guys are. You can talk to Matthias. and
yeah,
no one-
Matthias, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Do it. You're the commander.
Yeah,
He's not
absolutely.
A commander.
Well, there we go. We're gonna go and shoot the. We're gonna shoot the wizard. before
Okay,
he throws
this is
another
man to
wizard.
man. This is man to man combat. Can you please give me attack rolls? And the attack roll of a light ballista is.
I have it up here actually.
You've got it handy, have you?
Yes, I was just looking at it. Attack bonus for a light ballista is +8.
Okay.
So D20 plus 8.
Yep.
That's 1.
Miss again. I will just roll it for you here.
Yeah,
hold on.
please. Yeah.
Ooh, 20.
Yes.
Okay, nice. And the last one.
Another one of them, please, Mark.
What's the damage on the
19.
ballista? Okay, 2 hits.
Well done. Thank you.
Damage on the ballista there, Arnott is?
Oh, sorry. Small to medium targets is 2d6.
Okay, that's 12 for the 20, and then another 9. 21 damage. You poor bastard. Okay. Vemet the Foul, for such he is named, looks particularly upset as a trio of enormous ballista bolts, I mean, these are like spears the size of your house, come hurtling out of the dusty morning light. 2 of them hit him. He goes staggering sideways with the first one. The second one is a beautifully aimed shot that actually impales him right through his middle. He skids, let's move it. Skids a whole square backwards and leaves a huge smear of blood across the ground. All right, any more missile fire before we move to the next round?
Yes, we got the dwarves, and they are going to be shooting at the halflings.
Okay, all of the dwarves together.
Yes.
Wait, the Defiler's dead? No.
No.
Okay, a crossbow bolts go hurtling down toward the dwarves. Wonderful. How many halflings we got left there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
32 points of damage, or 32 in total.
Yeah. Only 1. Okay, nice. Again, halfling bodies fall beneath the Athasian sun as a constant harrying of crossbow bolts, wham, 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 down from above, begins to thin their ranks out quite considerably. The numbers are tilting slowly in your favor, but after the blast of the fireball, things do not look good for your side. Initiative, please.
Can I
roll
fire? Can I fire as well?
Yes, of course.
I line my darts with poison and shoot 2 darts at the Defiler.
Yes.
Where are you? I'm going to use my inspiration on the first one.
Nice.
I've been holding on to. So 26. I haven't used my inspiration yet, but the second one 15, so I use my inspiration
Miss.
on that.
Yeah.
Come on, 25.
Nice. Both hit. So 2 saving throws against poison.
Yes, death poison.
First one, a pass. Second one. $10. Ooh, I set that up. Okay. What is that? That is. Oh, that's exactly it. 2 saves. So, any damage?
Yep, that is 56 damage.
Oh, because it's extra.
I take it you passed both,
Okay.
yeah?
He passed both, yes.
56 damage.
Nice. Okay, the bolts slam into his body. He gives a frightened squawk, clutches his chest, coughs once or twice, and then collapses.
Well done, well done.
Wasn't lagging. You would see him disappear like that.
Can I hide?
Yeah, sure. Make me a hide roll.
I suggest Portek, you need to get out of the way.
Okay.
Right, Inish, I saw a 9 there from Ra, and
Nah, that wasn't it. Nah.
less than 9. Okay. Yes.
Ooh, close.
Well, before we
I
do
was gonna
that,
make the argument
we've just had a donation from Manx Works for $12 for 4 D6 inspirations. Thank you
Go
very
ahead.
much, Manx.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's
nice.
see.
Share
Who
those
gets,
out.
Thank you.
I need them.
let's see who gets them. Oh God, it's Constantine, Ra, the DM, and Matthias. So thank you very much, Manx. Much appreciated.
Oh, I got one. Okay. Thank you very much, Max. Yeah, good stuff. I'm going to use it right now. Okay.
Has to be used today.
Yes, well, I'm going to use it right now when these halfling scouts charge you. As soon as you've left yourselves nice and exposed there. This is
I am
going to
hidden.
hurt. Yeah, you are hidden. Portek is not, however. Their attack dice is doubled for charging. Halfling scouts, that's going to be 4d4 for the charge. Portek, yeah, you just quite literally realize you're facing them alone as their mass of halfling bodies comes hurtling across the ground toward you, snarling, waving their weapons, hungry for your blood. 11, that's a total of 3 hits. Portek, can you roll me a single d10, please? You want 6 or higher.
Hold on.
Okay. The halfling warriors swarm Portek, stabbing, thrusting, blades rising, falling. He simply goes down beneath a huge mass of them, and they continue past and over him.
I don't get an action for this, right?
And no, you don't. And up toward the Inixes. Okay. No movement here. These guys are going to consolidate slightly. The Kank Riders at this point have had enough and break off, fleeing backward in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one doesn't get as far because he's stuck in a pit. But they're currently en route and not able to launch a coherent strike.
Do we get attacks for opportunity?
1, and I'll roll for it. So that's a no for them. They're cut down as they flee by the last of the gladiators, and from the looks of his position, Bengal gets in a few swipes as well there at the fleeing Kank cavalry. The battlefield is looking considerably scattered now. Forces spread out in all directions, and you still have the command staff watching, relaying orders by flag from further up the hill here, from further down the canyon here. Right, any movement from you guys, please?
Is movement like would that cast as attacks, or is it just movement?
Attacks will come shortly. Just
Okay,
move.
no worries.
No, okay.
Tin's gonna probably stand up and actually call from where he's standing. Crafters, back up, Minthos. So move the crafters up into the what's left of the Minthos army.
Okay.
I was thinking...
Carry
Sorry.
on. The Minthos use their movement to regain regular formation, and the crafters back them up. Go ahead, Lucan.
I was thinking that these... I mean, I've moved this gladiator here, and I've moved up, so...
Yep.
Just checking with Raph, like, that's what we want to do here.
Okay. Right. These guys have already... The Halfling Scouts have already attacked this round, so they don't get to make an attack against the Enixes. The Mintho troops...
The Mintho troops I want, to move up to and surround as much as possible and take out the halflings.
Okay, the Enixes themselves try to back away.
Yeah, I'll move them along.
Let's get them out of the way here.
Is Portek down, dead, or is he just down?
You would need to send someone over there to have a look, or Matthias would have to have a look. You can't actually even see him at the moment.
I can't see Matthias to do anything with that. Yeah.
And you can't see Matthias either, no. Okay, the Mintho troops rallied, reinforced, take the fight to the halflings. There is a clash of blades, weapons smashing against small halfling bodies, and you can see that, in fact, it does begin to have an effect. As the front ranks of the halflings are felled by the combined forces of the Minthors and the surviving crafters. Their tiny, beleaguered groups band together. There's lots of slapping each other on the shoulders, shouting and yelling, people trying to G themselves up, focus themselves to see the fight through to the end. Okay, any melee combat from the gladiator side of things?
Yes, just straight attacking the troops ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay, Bagal, a D10 from you and a 12 from Ra, please.
And what about the gladiators themselves?
I'm rolling now. 8, 14, 19. That's nice.
I got a 10 on my D12.
Yep.
I got 5 on mine.
Okay. Slowly, inch by bloody inch, you, with your gladiators at your side, begin to force the army troops back. However, at the same time, even beside you, the gladiators are falling. They simply cannot survive this kind of close quarters, hemmed-in combat. Looking around, and presumably now the combat is going in slow motion, you can see gladiator bodies strewn on the canyon floor beside you, exotic weapons fallen from their hands, defeated by the simple shield, thrust, step, shield, thrust, step, almost mechanistic single-mindedness of the Urikite forces. You know how this battle is going to end. You're outnumbered 3-1. Right, missile fire, and then it's the next round.
First, the Enixes. I'll call for them to fire on the infantry that is assailing our gladiators.
Yep. Okay.
You're handling the rolls, I believe you said?
I absolutely am.
Thank
Enixes attack dice 12. Nice. Okay. The 3 Enixes now in a cohesive, focused fire. You can see them turning, lowering their heads as the arbalest thwack, thwack, thwack. Oh, that's like 40 something. Okay. And we have all fails. Okay. So that is 2. And are these guys 1 or 2 hits? These guys are 1 hits. 3 and 4.
Wow. Nice.
You have never been so happy to see Enixes lowering their heads and firing crossbow bolts from between their shoulder bolts before. I mean, it's a thing we all see fairly often in that mess.
Yeah.
But it quite literally comes out of the dusky dawn. These missiles, they punch straight through the Urikite ranks. Bagal right next to you. A bolt passes within perhaps a foot and a half of you and impales 3 Urikite warriors at once. Their bodies lifted off the ground by the impact of the force. Ra, likewise, you can feel as much as you can hear these immense missiles hurtling past you, devastating the ranks of your foes. And just like that, the odds in the battle have changed completely. From the surviving gladiators, there's a moment of shocked silence, and then, yeah, as they realize that they might not actually be all dying today.
And
More individual
missile
stuff.
fire.
So more missile fire. The 5 on the other side. I'm going to just raise my bow to them and point back towards the halflings
Okay.
that are in the middle of our melee.
Right, yes, so there's a
Mediantus.
handful of halflings on the outside there, yeah.
Yeah, no, on the other side, the ones that are within our Minthos troops. I want to protect
Yeah, I can
them
see them,
a
yes,
bit
yeah.
as well.
Okay. The dwarves swivel, turn, aim, and fire. Crossbow bolts easily find their marks, and 6 and a 2. Haha, sucks to be a halfling today. The last of the halfling scouts are felled by a continued focus fire of crossbow bolts. Briefly, Matthias, above your head, the sky goes dark as fletched death slams into the halfling ranks. There's again a moment of shocked silence as the Mintho troops and the crafters realize they're still alive. And it will likely continue to be so. And Tin, yes?
I'm gonna. Oh, I can't move anymore, can I? Because we moved past the move action, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim's gonna call out to the 4 that are with him and say, "At our feet," and myself and those 4 are gonna fire on the infantry that are still with the gladiators.
Okay, right. Tin, your attack dice is a single D10, I believe. Excuse me, let me check that. Yes, a D10.
It's a 9.
Nice.
He would fire first anyway, so Tim would fire before the rest of them.
Yes, okay. Tin, you lay down arrow after arrow after arrow, providing the mark for the dwarven warriors, and they likewise whap, 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 hammer crossbow bolt after crossbow bolt down into the killing area below. Bagal and Ra and your gladiators, another cheer goes up as you realize from on high a swarm of crossbow bolts have felled the last of the Urikite infantry. You have been well and truly saved by missile fire.
I'm gonna call out one last thing and be like, Matthias, get support tech.
I didn't want to cut in, but I was going to ask, is there any actions that I can
Speaking
check?
of which, Portek, can you roll me a D10, please? Portek bleeds.
Can I feed him his fruit?
You will need to take an action to stabilize him first.
Oh, okay, I will try to do that.
No roll necessary because of the extended nature of combat rounds here. You find his body, roll him over. He coughs once, seems to be about to speak, and then his eyes roll back in his head. You find the numerous injuries across his body and apply what basic battlefield healing you can. The bleeding stops. His eyes flicker open. He's barely conscious. And then you ram a fruit down his throat. And those are D8s, right?
Yeah.
They're just standard healing fruits. So, Portek, you gain... Right, you're on 4 hit points, Portek.
Woohoo!
You did it!
Don't spend them all at once.
And you wake up and everybody's dead.
I told you to hide.
Didn't get the time. I know how to hide, but I couldn't get the time.
Okay, so
Before I knew it.
these 2 Kank cavalry flee off in this direction, down a side canyon, and are almost immediately lost to the field of battle, fleeing for their lives. Up here, you still have the remaining command group. His half-giants close in close around him. Salavar of Lubar stands, arms folded across his armored chest, his yellow robe, the sign of a Templar, flowing in the wind. He calls out, "You have shown your prowess in battle, Tyrians. Turn back now. You know this war is folly. Without a king, your city cannot survive. Have they not told you this?" Right. Does anybody want to do anything about him?
I would like to drop a silence on his head because I had enough of his voice.
Okay, well,
Like
what's,
him
the,
off tick,
what's, the, what's the range on a silence spell? For a start.
Let me have a look. One sec.
I shout out, tick, tick, Saboff!
I'd
I was
like to
gonna
put an
say-
arrow in that direction. Are arrows flying today? Have to check the schedule.
I was
What-
going to ask, like... Sorry,
Go
go on. Oh, no, I was going to say, would Ra have any idea of the men that are guarding him? I don't think she would have a clue how many there were, would she?
I think we can assume that information's been shared.
Okay, so
Unless you need her to be ignorant.
she would yell out to them, to the ones around them, and just say, "Those following him, if you do not want to die today, come and join us." And I will leave it at that.
Okay. I am going to actually make a morale check for those. Because you've shown quite convincingly that Half Giant 1. Half Giant 2.
Plus, Ra is pretty half giant.
Okay. This Half Giant steps forward. What can you offer us? And the other two are like, "Zrock, get back here! You idiot!" But this one actually looks like he's considering your offer.
But she's
We're offering you to continue your life.
Right. Let's have
40 yards, by the way.
So that's 4 squares.
We're offering you freedom.
So let's have individual initiative, please.
Here we go.
What would be speaking? Is that like a D? What?
No adjustment, just a straight D10.
Just a D10. Okay.
Okay, Bengal.
I got an 8.
Constantine.
10.
Matthias.
9.
Matthias.
9, sorry.
Tick Tick.
I got a 2, but I think it's going to be a 5 because I think I know what I'm going to do.
Okay, Portek.
9.
God, guys. Ra.
3.
A 3. Okay. Ra, you're up.
I say what I said prior to the, we offer you life. Join us and you can live and be free. And not just she's addressing all of them, but I know only one has come forward. But
Yeah, so he's looking back and forward between you and his companions. Just swathe of dead bodies carpeting the canyon floor. You can see the concern and the confusion in his eyes. So we'll consider that a held action for now, for anything that comes later.
I mean, yeah, if anything comes towards me, it's obviously going to be a whack with my Lotulus, but...
Yeah. Okay. Salavar says to the other half giants are like raring to go. Salavar raises his hand. Hold your positions. I will make them see sense, he says to them. Tick Tick.
Okay, myself and both my Kreen companions are going to, as quietly as we can, run very fast and go behind the group, and all 3 of us are going to attack Salavar from behind.
Okay,
force.
they will hear you, but you can get a surprise attack at +2 from behind. So that puts you
Okay. All three of us going full tilt. All
Yes.
attacks.
I will roll for your other dudes.
Okay.
While you're doing that, Wiley Hobbit, how you doing, buddy? Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome to all your hobbits.
Hobbits, we like hobbits.
We likes hobbits here.
Hello, hobbits. Welcome aboard. I've actually just killed about 70 hobbits in the previous 15-20 minutes. So
We needed you here.
That's okay.
We were running
I'm a
low.
Hobbit. Hobbit representation.
We did just kill 70
so-
halflings, yes.
That's why we just.
So
need
all of these
more.
are at +2 to hit, yeah?
yeah, he is treated. He's armor class 23.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 bite. So that's 28, 21, 23, 25, 30, 28, and 21.
So there's 2 misses. I see there.
So the 19s are misses, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's 4 claws. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the same with the other 2.
Yeah, I've rolled for them. I got 3 hits in total. I'm just seeing what your damage is first.
Okay. And the aim here is to overwhelm him and to bring him down.
Well, if you're trying to grapple him down, that's just a single CMB check.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, in that case, we're just going to try and kill him. Surprise attack.
We'll just kill him then. Okay.
We're gonna hold him down. You gotta re-roll. Kill him.
Well, how many? We got 20... 40 damage. He's... Oh my god, he's actually still alive.
Okay, and then because I've got
So
rapid.
you guys quite literally appear out of nowhere behind him. He's like, I'm sure I can hear the sound of bugs. Oh my god!
And then I'm gonna use rapid retreat, and use the remainder of my movement to run away.
Okay, well, where you moved from? You were
I
here,
don't know.
right?
Yeah, I was here. So I don't know how far I can move.
1,
if I
2,
can.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can move.
Because
Nope,
each yard.
nope, that's it. You're out of movement.
Okay.
That's your combat move already.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Okay, right. So, having held their actions for something quite similar to this, the half giants turn and proceed to try their best to make you regret what you've just done and reconsider your life.
Oh well. I hold up the other 3 cream. No, I'm just kidding.
Did they not hit?
Heat shield.
Oh shit! That's actually 4 hits. Tick tick. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, did the other miss attacking?
They did. They hit as well, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying that he has that much HP.
He had a lot of hit points. Yeah. 6, 8 plus 14 is 22. Plus 40 is 62. That drops one of your cream completely, and you take 35 damage, which puts you on 34. Tick tick.
Wow.
Yeah, the half giants are up close and in your face now, shooing madly at you. As I say, one of your cream, T'Chak actually, is felled, placing his body between yours and the half giants.
Hearing
Cherishing
my,
the strength of your clutch. Yes, Ra, you have a held action.
I was gonna say, hearing a friend fall, am I able to charge forward?
Where are you? Yes, yeah, you can make a charge from there. Yes, you can.
Would I be able to get there
Can
and
I
hit with
charge?
that?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna head forward. As I run past this gentleman, I'm gonna turn to him and say, "Fight by my side, and you won't regret it." And then I'm gonna run forward, and I'm gonna just try and whack the leader, the gentleman.
Salavar himself. Okay, cool.
Look at this distinguished gentleman.
He's armor class 23.
Okay, so 2 hits.
Oh, okay.
Is he large or
He's
medium?
not large, no.
Does it matter?
Nice.
23 and 16.
39.
39.
39. Okay, yeah. Surprise half giant comes galloping out of the mist and is just like, hello, wonk!
You're gonna regret this, dude. You're gonna regret
Whack
that.
him repeatedly with your Latulis. He staggers, drops to one knee, bleeding, coughing from his mouth, blood spattering onto the floor. And seconds later, I saw Bengal. You ran in to have a go there as well. You are in fact next on an 8.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I was gonna say that would be my movement, and then I would just take my swinging sticks to town, basically
Yeah.
on him.
Okay.
With the half giants by our side,
Right.
I would look up and just say the offer still stands.
Can I hit 3 times? Is it
Yes. Yeah.
right?
2 hits.
Okay.
Don't you get +2 for charging?
Yes, you do. Still only 2 hits.
Okay.
So that's 22 damage.
But he only had 3 left.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can we get a morale check from the other boys?
There will be one, absolutely. That D6 is lying right on top of him. Go away, D6. Yeah, okay, so you hurtle forward right in Ra's wake, and it's almost like you appear out of her dust cloud. Samara's like, oh, at least I survived that. Oh, there's another one in there!
You do a quick flex before you start whacking him.
Yeah.
Biting my ankles.
Yes.
Don't hit my ankles. That's where I keep my last hit points.
It's my Achilles heel.
Nudge.
Samabar
I'll
goes
leave.
down. His skull split clean open. You can actually see greyish soup-like matter oozing out of the side of his head as he lies sprawled, lifeless on the ground in front of you.
Please tell me it's not milk.
It's not milk. No, it's what brains are supposed to look like. Tick Tick and Portek. Oh wait. Sorry, morale checks for the half giants. Mr. Half Giant on the left rolls 18. He fails. Mr. Half Giant on the right. He rolls a 16. They both fail their morale checks. Both the half giants, seeing what has happened, throw down their weapons and immediately plead surrender. We'll take her offer, one of them says, pointing at Ra. Yeah, the other one says, yeah. What she said. Matthias and Portek.
I help Portek to his feet.
Move our way towards there.
Yeah.
Okay, I will remove your thing. There you go. You're no longer cross. Okay, you pull yourselves to your feet, and what? And you, the pair of you, head in that direction.
Yeah, we're going to loot the necromancer.
Okay, well, yeah, that's about
Make sure he's dead first. Stab him a couple of times.
Yep. Okay, you reach the necromancer, or rather, you search amongst the bodies for where he was. Yet again, his body is not to be seen. You're sure this is where he fell. If you look around amongst the fallen, and don't forget, this area here is strewn with dead kanks, dead kank riders, the remains of the Urikite infantry pierced by crossbow bolts. But of the fallen defiler, and you absolutely saw him go down, there is yet again no sign.
He was visible when he went down, right?
He was visible, yeah, you saw him fall, yes.
But he probably
We
did
had
the same
some.
thing.
Yeah, we had some Kank riders flee, so they might have picked him up.
That's indeed possible. They could absolutely have done that, yes.
I asked the
Shenanigans.
surrendered half giants if they were slaves or if they were free.
Slaves, one of them says. We warrior slaves of House Lu Bar.
Do you have somewhere to go?
We're your slaves now.
We don't have slaves here. You can fight with us if you want, but
As free men.
we're free here.
Yeah.
You're looking at ex-slaves yourself.
Free.
Yes.
And almost tentatively, Bagal, you see him reach out and traces the slave mark on Ra's shoulder that was burned away. Free. They look at each other and just as if the very idea is completely beyond them.
I know it's overwhelming. Believe me, it's why I still fight. You can join us, or you can try and make a life somewhere else.
We be free and Tyr. This true?
Yes.
Our swords are your swords.
What are your names?
This is Zorak. He points to one. I Zoshak. And they point to the one at the back standing. Claw! He says.
It'll be an honor fighting by your sides. Now, are you well fed? Are you thirsty? Are you hungry?
They look over their shoulders toward where the Urikite, the small wagon train, the three Enixes. You can see other slaves there just standing looking in complete shock at what's happened to the army in front of them. Yes, Zorak nods. We give you supplies.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you.
I look through the body of Salavar Lubar for an obsidian orb.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. You find it in a pouch beneath his chest, his breastplate. It's about this big. Black glass, but shimmering within it, this rolling reddish light.
In a somewhat alarmingly loud voice, Tic goes, Matthias!
You look behind you and I'm standing there. Jesus. I say before we activate this, we may want to get any other magical items away from here.
Away from it, yeah, exactly. So,
Okay, I give you, well, I walk away with the hardwood spear, but...
Oh, can you take my sword too?
Okay.
And I'll call out for Ra to leave because her boots are similarly magical.
I will leave by. I'll lead the now free slaves and their
supplies.
supply. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. I'll lead them away and kind of have like a regroup of all of our forces away from the area.
Yeah,
and I will
likewise,
also take.
I'm gonna take the gladiators down away too.
Okay.
Do we know the distance, Mark, that it destroys magic?
It's like about a 30-foot radius, if I recall correctly, from when I.
Then
used
I
it.
will move. I will move
High-level
away.
group.
Yeah, I'll move away from the group. 100
me
feet,
double
just to
check.
make sure.
You have nothing
Well,
magical on you, right?
I've got nothing magical, no.
No fruits and nothing. Okay.
30-foot radius, yeah.
You
Once
keep
they
stealing.
once we're away and everyone is kind of regrouped, I would command all of our remaining fighters to respectfully lay the bodies of the fallen to the side and basically peacefully, respect them,
We could put them in the pits and use them as burial pits.
The pits are temporary.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are? Okay.
Let's also make sure that Salavar doesn't carry anything else with him.
Yes, let's search the body thoroughly and make sure there's nothing.
Yes. Okay. So Salavar has a metal morning star, some Braxat shell armor, which is pretty decent armor, a large shield, one of those strange Urikite holy symbols, which is an emblem of a lion on the front, and on the back, it looks like something has scratched it with a claw.
We've seen that already.
Yeah, Puram, the one who was an Elan, had that as well.
So,
And also the Templar that we killed with the Braxat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Likewise.
it's a Hamanu holy symbol.
It is.
So, Matthias, you
I will
have
move away. Yeah.
Yep,
And
good distance from the rest of the group. Squat on the canyon. The sun's now fully risen over the wall and is beating hot and unrelenting down upon you.
Do I know that I've got to be here to activate it, or is it like a grenade? Like press it. and
You
walk
have to
away?
just crush it.
Not knowing if it's going to kill me or not, I will walk away and crush it.
Okay. The obsidian splinters in your hand, and there is a expansion of energy out around you. You can feel it rush over your body. Hair stands up on end, goosebumps all over. And on the ground there is a simply, and it's almost anticlimactic, sound like broken glass. And the veil of stone just breaks apart into a number of small splinters of black glass. And there is a red light, small plume evanescing out of the top of it. And then, to the north in the distance, you hear a horn blowing 3 times, high and clear. And you know that Rikus' attack has begun.
Nice.
We did a thing, guys.
Indeed.
I can't believe we succeeded.
Can't believe Portek almost died.
Best thing ever. Don't worry, those Templars will rock those halflings. Where's the Templars gone?
They actually did. They killed 2 of them.
Yeah, and then
Was
they got
was it-
surrounded,
It
Killed
was
them.
useful.
and
Yeah,
they killed you.
No, fair enough. Look, but it took them a turn to deal with them. They were useless on their own, those 2 Templars.
Oh yeah.
But they could do some damage.
Besides,
You were lucky. There was no way I was standing there to be swamped by a load of halflings.
I had cast a spell that round. I didn't get an action. Otherwise, I could have make myself scarce. It was not possible.
Yeah.
I was just there, and I was just for it.
I was like, tapped you on the back. Good luck, Portek.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye.
Brave, brave Sir Robin.
I would stay and wait, but they look hungry.
Tic Tic is going to bury the body of
Chak.
Yeah.
and he's going to place create a ring of stones.
Ah, nice. Yes, Dej. Okay.
Portek observes his earth ritual.
And then I say, I go through all the motions of the Kreen burial rite, whatever that is. I presume there's something.
There is, yeah. There's a whole. Yeah, it quite literally has to do with circles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Portek asks you to teach him so that if ever you come to fall, that he can give you that honor. Because there's no other Kreen to do that for you.
I look at Keck pointedly.
Tim's just going to be with the dwarven
Keck's
archers
like-
at this point. He's
What
just
am I,
walking
Chuck
around
Liver?
talking.
In our clutch. Come on.
This clutch is getting real freaking big. Like at this point, we cough in another city. Somebody's gonna be like, "Clutch? Like, how'd they know we were here?" Well, there's 10,000 of us now.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? You're supposed to make your tribe
So,
bigger.
You bury your dead, friend and foe, and realize how many men you actually lost here. A good half of your forces have been eliminated. And after taking possession of the Urikite supplies, regrouping your troops, you head north into the canyon. I love this picture. To see what Rikus has made of the advantage you gave him.
Oh, great.
Okay, what kind of intel did we give him?
What did he have? My God, look at that
I
guy in
said
the
fire
front.
to everything.
Look at the skull in the bottom left. What happened to that guy?
You really pissed someone off, that's for sure.
Well, I
Exactly,
guess
and-
they had the Ark of the Covenant with them, so that's
Exactly.
nice.
And we got Inixes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had Sidera, so yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
It is immediately clear from your approach that it has been a success. The remnants of the Urik army are scattered in bloody ruin across the entrance to the canyon. Yes, Rikus's forces have suffered losses themselves, but victory is tears this day. And thanks to you, your steady progression of actions, scouting, finding the scouting party, taking the Defiler and the Templar to question them, learning intelligence that pinpoints the location of the vanguard and the army precisely, stopping the vanguard, destroying the Veil of Stone, and giving Rikus the chance to thoroughly ambush and crush Urik's army. One outstanding move after another has brought you to this point. And it is with cheers and adulation that you are greeted when at first you return to Rikus in his council tent. And following that, for the return to Tyr itself. For you, it is a return home, quite simply, as heroes. On the city walls, banners are already hanging, word having gone ahead of the army of the victory that you have enjoyed. And not only that, but there's a parade.
Is
Oh,
there
nice.
techno music? I need techno music.
I need to be in that parade in the center.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
me and Bengal are just partying.
Is that what
The
a singing? Is that what a
Hint,
singing
Hin's
stick looks
not
like?
even at the parade.
What?
Is that what a singing stick looks like? What you're calling there in the center of the parade? What is that?
That's just Bax's weird art. I don't know what that is.
It's a parade favor. Everybody gets them. They're very.
I'm not sure what the
festive.
half giant's wearing there. Yeah.
I don't know what he's. During the parade, Tin will be at the villa, doing nothing. It's going to be a little lit there. You guys can join, or you can have
Okay.
the rave, whatever tickles you.
You return to Tyr as heroes. Greeted
Ray.
as such, fated as such, welcomed as such.
We eat all the sausages.
There is a whole ceremony thing. Medals, defenders of Tyr.
Is it like
Meet-
the end of Star Wars?
Oh, it's better. Even the half giant gets a medal.
I was going to say, make sure Tick Tick gets a medal then. Being our
Hell yeah.
Chewbacca.
Weeks of free drinks, dining off your war stories. Social status is elevated. Matthias, yours is the place to be for the finest parties for weeks and weeks to come. But something else as well becomes clear within the first few days of you getting back. No congratulations from Tithian. At first, the suspicion is, well, he's just being an arsehole, isn't he? Hiding out in his golden tower, expected you all to die, and nobody did. But Then the truth begins to spread among the council at first, and then it trickles down to your ears. Tithian is gone from Tyr. The king has abandoned his throne.
But why?
This can only portend something unpleasant. But that's for another day. For now, at least, the city-state of Tyr faces a truly free future. And its chief architects, of course, are you.
King Matthias.
Getting ahead of yourself.
I don't like.
He wouldn't want it.
Maybe we shouldn't have a king.
Yeah, we should have an emperor of the world, and his name should be Bingle Bangle.
Or a
We shouldn't
council.
have-
A
we shouldn't
council
have-
sounds good.
A council sounds good, yeah.
All right then.
Well, as
The
before,
council
then,
will decide your fate.
We can nickname you Emperor.
the camera will, I think, pull back on this conversation as to who shall be the leader, who shall be the emperor of the world, what his name shall be, and whether
Me.
or not he shall have a council.
Maybe.
It pulls all the way back until we can see the city-state of Tyr as a whole. Further back still, the valley. Further back still, a woman sitting cross-legged on one of the high canyons that overlooks the city. We recognize her, of course. It is Diamina Lubard. And deep in psionic meditation, she finally conjures the figure before her. A shimmering psychic projection. A nondescript looking man. He's new to us as viewers, we haven't seen him before. Success, the psionic projection says. Congratulations. Diamina allows herself a smile. Yes, my master. The city-state of Tyr has lost its king. The city-state of Urik has had its army decimated. Hamanu hides within his palace and licks his paws. It is as you predicted. The psionic figure nods and smiles. And we can see now that he's playing with something in his hand. It's about this big. It's hard to see what it is at first, but then we realize that it's a cocoon. Cocoon of a butterfly or a moth, perhaps. Yes, as I predicted, he says. No such predictions are necessary. This is simply the logical consequence of the events that we set in motion. Two of the great cities of the Tablelands have been destabilized. They are not prepared for what must come. And this is to our advantage. Diamina frowns. You're referring to the levy. They won't be able to pay it. Pay it? The man says. How can the citizens of Tyr pay something they don't even know exists? Yes, you're quite right. They will fail to pay the levy, and he will destroy them all. And into the chaos that follows, we will have what we have sought. We must prepare for that. It is time to set the next phase of our designs in motion. And he caresses the cocoon even further. You have something that will suffice? You have Of course you have prepared. He looks down at the cocoon as it splits open and slowly unfurling itself. Its gossamer wings fluttering ever so slightly as an ishi moth, one of Tyr's silk-producing moths. The man smiles down at the moth. Oh yes. I have the perfect thing in mind. The time of the gossamer is now. But there, my friends, we will close tonight's episode. And we will close the first half of Season 1 of the Tame Land.